legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. legacybox.com/value.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. I spent the last 45 minutes doing other stuff and also watching the alleged testimony in the Senate by the acting head of Secret Service. Here's the problem that I have. It's pretty simple. These guys are going to come up with all sorts of bureaucratic dodges. It takes forever to get them on point. Why in the world, I've been saying this since the House, are we not bringing in the person who was in charge that day on the ground and or the top people under him? That's who I want to hear about what they did and did not do. And the existential question just asked by one senator was getting pretty riled up, and he said, if it were President Biden, I was taking it as an illusion. Maybe you let Trump go on, but you wouldn't have let Biden go on. Why did you let him go on with this guy with the rangefinder and everything else? And there were other sightings of him, and people were concerned about him. Why is it that impossible to find that person? If that's not a threat, then what is a threat? And there are no answers. You will not get answers from these people. The better thing to do is the same thing I said with the FBI. I'm tired of hearing from Christopher Wray. I want to hear from the people in the Richmond office who decided that traditional Catholics at Saturday Mass were a threat and they went in there. That's who I want to hear from. I don't care what the FBI says. You can't hear from them. There's something off with this, that we're going through people who were not there on site that day. Yeah, but Dom, they're in charge. I'm not worrying about firing them in the bureaucracy. I want answers to this just as you do. How in the world do you let a former president, polarizing figure because of the hatred of the left and media, and leader to be president again, go on stage if you have what we've heard as a threat level? What does it take then before you say, don't go on stage yet? What was the problem with holding this guy for more questioning? The only ones that can answer a lot of this. In other words, I don't care about the grand policy and all the protocols of the Secret Service and all their nonsense. I want to bring these people in. Are these people shielded by some kind of law? Project 25, make it Project 25 and 26, and put that in there. Put on page 1 of Project 2025, that you should not be able to get 60 days to do these reports. We need it within 24 hours. Then we need another one within 2 weeks. Then you get your 60 days. What is the problem with breaking through with these people? They have the wrong people up there. They have the head of the state troopers in Pennsylvania, and they have the acting head of the Secret Service. They can testify too. I really don't care about them at this point. I want to know from the people on the ground, because when they start talking, they'll tell you what they're being told to do and how these decisions are being made versus those that are trying to cover them up for whatever reason. Were they denigrating, diminishing the Trump coverage? We heard today that, and I saw the guy on Fox and Friends earlier this morning, that there is a relatively simple technology that could disable a drone, sense a drone, and it would even tell you where the Crooks guy was. They could pinpoint him with it. They said they had trouble with cell connection or something. What? And then they said, well, what about a backup system? They said, oh, we want you to sure we're working on it. Why in the world wouldn't you have a backup to a backup? When you're the Secret Service, it should always be about backups to backups to backups, should it not? I mean, the NFL. Imagine an NFL head coach, Dan, saying, well, you know, we had poor connection to the booth at that play. That's why I didn't call anything.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think the owner of the team would have said, yeah, well, what's your backup then? You know, what are you doing in this? And they said, we don't have any. That's it. I'll do whatever happens there. That's all I can do. But interesting testimony in the last 5 minutes, trying to say, well, if this were Biden, would you let him go on stage? We can't answer that. We can never answer anything. Why was Trump allowed to go on stage? Still the outstanding question that's out there. Now, Riley Gaines is coming on today, and it's very hard to get. Kudos to Dan. We're not sure what time. 12:30, Dan. I guess it's clarified now. Right? Yeah. Want to talk with her about a wide variety of things. In fact, I have to check my notes. A couple of them have been going on for a while. I know she had a lot to say about the Last Supper. But not one, but two boxers that have been ruled out by other governing bodies because of their chromosomes, meaning biological males at birth, Dan. One from Algeria, one from South Asia. They're going to fight women. They're going to be fighting against women. It's not they're going to be running a race. All right, they beat her. Sorry, honey, you're going to have to train harder. How many times have we talked about this?
Bad.
They're going to be in the Olympic ring boxing with women for the women's title. How many things will this Olympic group do that just gets you to say, and we're weird. The Democrat Party is on that side. I'm sure Dr. Jill Biden and Kamala Harris will have them over to the White House if they could. Why are we weird? And why are the things they're proposing not weird? They're going
to be fighting women?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. And they were banned. Daily Mail has the full story, Dan. They were banned from a previous boxing because of the chromosomal test. Yet they're going to be allowed in by the IOC for this one.
Do we dare hear what Rocky or Mickey has to say about this?
Yeah, let's hear.
Rock, you there?
Rock, are you there?
Knock, knock, Rock.
Rock.
No.
Mick.
Mickey? No.
No, Mickey. All right, we'll get him to him later. All right. So now, I'm not wishing anything on anybody.
No comment.
But why do these women, where are the women's group? Riley Gaines, a one-man gang, one-woman gang, on this. It'd be like Leah Thomas standing up and boxing Riley Gaines rather than swimming. The swimming is bad enough. I mean, everybody knows the force here at this level. Come on.
Now, you just gave me an idea for the Rocky.
There you go. There's Rocky. Waking up, Rock. Yeah.
I will wake up. Who keeps ringing that bell? Caught me, Mick. Caught me. Can't see nothing. Broke my nose. Anyway, so the next Rocky movie, I'm going to fight two of these women at the same time. You know what I mean?
Oh, Rocky,
no, we better not go there. Yeah, I hear what you mean there. Yeah, two women at the same time.
I'm
going
to
mute you, Rocky.
Yeah, there you go. So the pair were disqualified from the Women's World Boxing Championships just in March in New Delhi after a series of DNA tests were ordered and concerns over the sex of some of those taking part. At the time, the president of the International Boxing Association claimed the tests had proven the athletes had XY chromosomes. He added they uncovered athletes who were trying to fool their colleagues and pretend to be women. Man, at least you can shave, Dan. This one guy, don't you think you ought to shave if you're pretending to be a woman?
Well, here in France.
Yeah, that's right. No armpits. But, I mean, the face. I don't think the French women have unshaven faces. So
I think some do.
So we'll get Riley Gaines in on this. And again, just when you think they can't be more defiant on the nonsense they're engaged in, they are. Hey, one thing to consider as Josh Shapiro moves forward. Now, again, when Dan and I have been talking about this, he emphasized a little bit more why Shapiro probably won't get it. It's simple. Anti-Semites, the Gaza crowd, the gays for Gaza and all. They're not going to let someone Jewish who's a fan of Israel, supporter of Israel, to be the VP choice. So if you want to deflect a bit, and Shapiro doesn't get it, when Shapiro is the clear person who should get it if you want to win, how about the fact, now it's the Inquirer and others are leading with this, that Josh Shapiro essentially looked the other way with a guy named Mike Vreb, who I had in studio, Dan. He was pretty strong on capital punishment. He was a Republican, rhino, but a deal maker. Josh Shapiro loved the guy because he could get blank done. And it looks like Josh Shapiro and people in Harrisburg, Judy Ward, Kim Ward, the female president of the Senate, has really gone after Shapiro on this, and so has the Democrat candidate to be treasurer of the state of Pennsylvania, that they accuse him of looking the other way, and all kinds of money got spent because this guy allegedly was a serial sexual harasser or worse. And even in this climate, they let it go because he was that valuable to them. So my point is this. If Shapiro doesn't get it, watch the people fall into ranks and say, oh, yeah, because it was because of the sexual harassment thing. No. If he doesn't get it, it's because the National Democrat Party is captive to those that are anti-Israel and anti-Semitic. Otherwise, you're tagging in a guy like Mark Kelly, who has a deal with China around spy balloons and all. What? You're tagging that guy in? You're putting Pete Buttigieg in there? I don't think so. The only reason you're not putting Shapiro in there is because he's Jewish and because your party can't stand that. So watch them use this argument, though. No. It's about the sexual harassment case. Now, that sexual harassment case is bad, but I don't think, they've looked at Clinton and others. They've looked away from that to win. All right, one other quick thing here. Let me give you the side question. Riley Gaines coming at 12:30. This is just kind of breaking. Boxing, though. Isn't this indicative? Now shouldn't Vice President Harris be asked about this? You really think we should have men in the ring there knocking around? Oh, well, if they identify with it, they ought to be able to be in the ring. Do you really think more than 2% of Americans? I'm going to play you the latest identity group. We had black women for Kamala, the white women of privilege for Kamala, Karens they call themselves, and now white dudes for Kamala.
Oy.
And I like him as an actor pretty much, but can he lose the dude thing, Dan? Jeff Bridges was one of the people on the call, the dude from Big Lebowski. Come on. Well, let's play a little bit of that.
Yeah, you
now.
want to play it?
Yeah, here's the
Corny.
here's a little montage of the guys that were on the White Dudes for Kamala Zoom call.
I'm white, I'm a dude, and I'm for Harris.
Over the last few years, I've been thinking a lot about men.
I'm not sure if you guys can recall that feeling you had on the night of Tuesday, November 8th, 2016. I stood over my kid's bed and I wept.
White nationalists in MAGA, they want to speak for you specifically as white men.
In the marginalized communities that educate me every single day, that this is a constant education for all of us.
Kamala is carrying on her shoulders 248 years of pain, of agony, of hope, of frustration. And no matter how high she jumps, no matter how many degrees she has, no matter how good her grades are, she's never good enough because they're always moving the line.
What a variety of whiteness we have here, with like a rainbow of beige.
Man, I am scared to death of what the future could look like if we go back to another Trump administration.
All right. So I thought Barack Obama broke that. Moon Landrieu, that's the former mayor of New Orleans, that was saying she carries 248 years. That's already been broken. So there's something new that she's breaking. But the guy with the shades of beige and Jeff Bridges, the dude himself on the call.
I'm white, I'm a dude, and I'm for Harris.
Oh, God. Remind me never to put him into a side question. That's it. He's out of the side question. I saw this. I don't know if Dan thinks it's an overwhelming one. I just fell in love with this one because I was able to think of so many. Let's see how it goes. It could be one of those, it was a side question. It could be a great one. Saw this on Twitter. There's a site that talks about movies. And seeing as I see that, and let me try to be precise in this so you get where we're going. The question the host of it asked, give us that movie character and the moment where they knew they were dead. Not like Sixth Sense, not where the character finally realizes he's dead all along, meaning they're going to get it in the next second. So, Dan, I'm going to take off the board one sentimental one and one bad one. You're not a fan of mob films, I know, but Goodfellas is arguably up there with The Godfather. When Tommy realizes they're not going to make him, they're not going to put him into the mob, there's no one there, what's going to happen next? In Goodfellas, unbelievable. How about No Country for Old Men, Dan? Did you see that one?
Yep.
Okay. When Woody Harrelson's character, who was also telling everybody, he could deal with this guy, suddenly he's sitting right across from him and with that weird weapon pointed at him. He's telling the guy, you don't have to do this. And he knows deep down he has -0 chance of surviving this. That scene in A Few Good Men is perfect. When you know you're going to get it, no matter how skilled you are, this guy's a maniac. He doesn't care. All right, how about yours, Dan?
I love this moment from this great movie of a guy who's very conservative now, apparently, talking on YouTube and occasionally posting up videos. But how about Randy Quaid in Independence Day, Dom?
Great one.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Yeah, that is a great one. The other noble one, taking one for the team, Dan, Terminator 2, Schwarzenegger, when the only way to stop the other thing is to stay down in this melting device, and he has to go down and stay with him to hold him down. He knows what it means. It's all over for him. And they slowly have him going down in the chain. Beautifully done. All right, so that's a side question today. Think about it. In a film, I guess we would allow TV one if it's very good, where the character realizes that's it. It's going to be over.
I love TV. Stringer Bell.
Stringer Bell.
Yeah,
that is a great one. There's several.
When he realizes his end of the line has finally come, and he realizes what's going on, and he's being screwed over, and
the guy that kills him is Minister. What's that guy's name? Great character too.
Brother Mahone.
Yeah, Brother Mahone.
Wasn't it Omar that killed him? They ambush him in the room, but it ends up being Omar, and he finally comes face to face with him in that vacant home.
No, they're in an office building downtown that's blocked off.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and I think it's a brother that kills
him. It was a vacant home. It was both Omar and brother that shot him.
Was it?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah,
man.
I think it was both. Yeah.
There's so many in The Wire.
Yeah. All right, so that moment when the character realizes TV, well, The Wire's a film. I mean, it's good enough to be a film. When they realize that's it, Tommy in that scene, Joe Pesci, boy, I was loving it when Joe Pesci got it in that, rooting it on. I know it's coming for 50 times. Yes, finally. Then we had Henry Hill on the show. It was very normal.
Oh, yeah?
I don't. He wasn't like the character in that, Nobody looks as good as the actor who played him in it. Nobody looks quite that. Yeah. 855-839-1210.
Ray Liotta, right?
Yeah, Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta looks better than any guy I've ever seen almost in that. Particularly when they show him from a kid, then suddenly they go forward 10 years and he's standing there outside the airport or whatever they were doing. Yeah. That's it. Yep. 855.
So you want to reenact the entire movie for us?
855-839-1210.
The problem is, by the time I grew up, Ottawa Airport was all over the neighborhood. Belonged to Paulie. We just do what we'd have to. When we needed money, we'd rob the airport. Anybody got out of line, Paulie would call a strike. It was beautiful. We just walked in with the key, and we handed Paulie his tribute.
Karen! 855-839-1210. All right, you get in. Hit us with that. That's a side question. Hey, let's have a couple of guys box women. That's Olympic sports. That's where we're going. What could go wrong with that? Riley Gaines here to talk about that. We'll also talk with the mayor of Slippery Rock, friend of Scott Presler, because Trump is going back to that very site to hold a rally in honor of the people who were harmed, including the firefighter who was killed. All straight ahead on Talk Radio 1210.
In your arms and
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey, and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Why are prices spiking in Pennsylvania? It's simple. It's inflation. And Senator Bob Casey's reckless spending caused the problem to grow. Casey joined Washington liberals in voting for trillions in reckless spending. All of Senator Casey's spending caused inflation to get out of control until disaster. Everything is too expensive, from gas to groceries. And Senator Casey helped create this mess. Worse, Casey voted to allow COVID relief checks for illegal immigrants and convicted criminals, even murderers. Senator Casey voted to allow more money for illegals, leaving less for us. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act, paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Free speech lives here with Kale and Company weekday mornings. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in. Yeah, that's a side question today. When the character realized their death, that it was up. Sometimes the character's taken one for the team. Just saw this on Twitter. Thought it was an all-time great question. All right. Maddening again today. The Senate testimony now. Just maddening. Again, you're not going to get direct answers for a lot of levels. You gotta. The burning question is, why was Trump allowed to go on? Let's take our time. We're going to take hours on this. I want to go second by second. What were you thinking? Is that what you're told? If you're the person on site, do they have control over that? And how do they make this calculation? Because this gets into a lot of things here that we need answers on. You know, aside, I don't care about the motivation of the shooter and all this nonsense, where the bullets. It's the lack of protection. Is the Secret Service this bad, or was this just particularly bad because they kind of diminish it around Trump a bit? I think you could see both. I have no faith in them. They're another screw-up organization. They are. You know, not discounting the bravery, take a bullet, do all that. I'm talking about their main function now. This is not somebody that is world-class in what they're doing here. That's what's coming out of this. Is that just the Trump detail that day, or on a daily basis, have they eroded?
It's getting pretty heated right now.
Yeah, it is getting pretty heated. This guy Marshall's pretty good from Kansas, and I've about had it with it. This,
the audio if you want it.
Yeah, let's hear a little bit of it, Dan.
To the multiple failures that we saw on an individual basis as long as systemic, I think it proves that there's either incompetence or some type of a cultural problem within the SS.
So, Senator, I know you're not calling our workforce incompetent, and I know we do not have a culture.
Yeah, I am. I am calling it that.
To making sure that we don't have mission failure. And let me get you the hiring numbers that we have, because I think you will actually see that, no, we've actually done very well fairly recently with trying to make sure that we have the numbers that we need. Of course, we need more people. Everybody does. But let me get you those numbers, and I think let your own eyes
Would you
see.
also disagree with me when it's reported that almost 50% of the rank and file officers don't trust leadership within the Secret Service?
Senator, I think it's the right of every worker to talk bad about their boss.
Thank you. I yield back.
Senator Hirono, you're recognized.
Oh, Maisie Hirona. Oh,
Great
man,
first name, but
yeah, Maisie Hirona. Yes, good first name. I don't think she spells it the same way.
She doesn't. No, she
Yeah,
spells it the wrong
see,
way.
that tells you right there.
yeah.
She's the one that wanted to know about a railroad line to Hawaii, Dan. You can look it up.
You want to hear what she asks?
Yeah, let's hear what she
Thank you,
asks.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Clearly, there is a lot that the Secret Service has to answer for in this stunning security failure.
Bet she makes it about guns.
But I do want to follow up on Mr. Abate's testimony that an online profile of the shooter may have been found, and you said it contains anti-Semitic and anti-immigrant postings.
There we go.
Can you elaborate? Have you found anything further in the shooter's profile?
Senator, this was just discovered, as I mentioned, and it's being closely analyzed right now. We need to verify that it is, in fact, that it belonged to the now deceased shooter and that he made these comments. So that's why I felt it important in the interest of transparency to share that here, but add the caveat that we still have a lot of work to do, which we're working on quickly to determine that. It's of importance, I think, because if it is, in fact, the shooter that posted these comments, it's the first real indication where he's expressing what are described as extremist views and talking about political violence.
I take
That's
it
enough,
that
Dan.
once you determine that
But he's shooting Trump. Curious here. We seem to have failed to say, no, we are saying they're incompetent. How else? There's only two options here, buddy. I wish the senator had said it to him, Dan. I think Ron Johnson might have said, buddy. Listen, buddy. With all due respect, buddy.
And it really annoys me because
there's two options. You know what they are? Rank incompetency or conspiracy / we're going to degrade stuff here and see what happens with Trump.
And I'm with you because that's all I've been listening. And a lot of the Democratic questioning is how can we turn this politically against our rivals, where the Republican questioning is let's find some damn answers. Right. That's what we need. We should have from both sides of the aisle here, not some kind of politicking of, oh, he's an extremist. Let's make him a Republican so we can, turn this against them and off of us and to pass off responsibility. It's ridiculous. It's
the only way we're going to get those answers, those are the big questions. Is it incompetency that is this stunning, or is it you put in just a lack of everything that day because you really didn't care whatever happens to Trump? Maybe not directly. We hope that Trump gets shot. But, we're not going to go along with this. He doesn't deserve it. FLOTUS gets it. The president gets it. Not this guy. And look at what happened. But even then, it is stunning what they allowed to happen here. The only way, Dan, I maintain, I don't think anybody's saying, I don't know why. It's a practical thing. These guys that are at the top always have the dodge. They don't know that day. We got to get back to you what happened. I want to know, out of all these hours, who is it that made the decision on the spot? Or did they call the higher up, and I don't think they did, and said, look, we have a threat here. Should we let Trump go on? Isn't that the only question we need to know really here in the end? Why was Trump allowed to go on? All right, here's some of Rick Scott, the man from the future, the senator from Florida. Here's what he said.
The value of going in front of the press and answering all their questions
I mean, you realize that if you don't do it that way, everything gets filtered. You get to put out all the information, and you should be providing. I mean, you should be every day say, this is what we know now. This is like Senator Johnson put together a timeline. You should have put together a timeline. You should immediately put out, this is what we know right now, and this is what we don't know. Like you've said, you don't know how the gun got up there, right? You've said it, but why have that should have been out all along? Say, we're looking at it. It doesn't make any sense. We've done this. We've done this. We've done this. If you do, I mean, I just don't get it. Why what you're doing? You're ruining. I've said this about the FBI. I mean, the people that work at the FBI, people who work at Secret Service, they're great people. You're a black hole. You lose the support of the American public because people don't believe you're being direct with them.
All right, here's the thing, Dan. Come up with a mechanism, force them to do it. They don't have the right to say 60 days, to Scott's point. No, you're going to do this. Now, I don't know what the mechanism is, if Congress can do that, but that's what I would try to do. We're going to force you to do this. You're not going to make this decision. We're going to tell you what to do. Well, you can't do that. Watch us. If you really want to stop these people, the deep state, the bureaucracy, you got to tell them what they're going to do. All right, coming up, the one and only Riley Gaines. A lot to talk about. Men boxing women in the Olympic Games. That would be like Leah Thomas. Stan, I make Riley Gaines 5-1 to knock Leah Thomas out in the swimming lane anyhow. That's what would happen. I'm betting on Riley Gaines.
Pay-per-view?
Or in the locker room back there.
Yeah.
He's strutting around. Bang! Thomas is down. Here's your trophy. All right, 855-839-1210. You get in.
Is the Mazda CX-50 truly both rugged and refined? Can the CX-5 be both beautiful and invigorating? Is the CX-90 roomy and responsive? And is the CX-30 both stylish and safe? Good questions. Find out with Mazda all summer long.
Visit Piazza Mazda of Westchester and Reading for financing as low as 0% APR for 36 months on select new models.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
A humid air mass will remain in place through the rest of the week. Partly to mostly cloudy today with a late day shower or storm, high 86. Better chance for some showers and storms tonight with a low 72. And partly sunny, hot and humid on Wednesday with a shower or storm, high 92.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
What a grand moment it will be. The Last Supper, blasphemy. Yeah, if you're offended because you're a dope, we apologize. Dom Giordano's show. And then men boxing women. Why don't you get it? Who's going to embrace that? Yes, Dan.
I said that was such a backwards apology that the IOC offered there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So these men, two of them, one from Algeria, one from Asia, they have been banned. They were banned recently from another boxing organization because of the chromosomal pattern here. And yet, in the Olympics, they're going to be boxing women. Now, I got to watch that one. I mean, we just have to see the...
Well, Riley posted a clip out on her Twitter, Dom, and it's scary to see what we're seeing there. It's at Riley_Gaines_, and... it looks dangerous, to say the least.
Yeah, put it mildly. All right, let's go to the one and only Riley Gaines, back with us here in Philadelphia. Riley, thanks so much. Thanks for the continued great work you're doing. And I was telling Dan, you've even created the Riley Gaines Center, or whatever the name is, that you've gotten these other women now who are athletes to be taking on all these brush fires constantly.
I sure have. It is absolutely insane that this is a position that we have to take, me personally, but nonetheless that any of us have to take. I mean, just 2 years ago, I was a college-age student who just wanted to compete fairly. I was in dental school, actually, after college. And so it's wild to really sit back and understand the 180 that my life has done. Again, never, ever a fight that I wanted, never a position that I sought after, but nonetheless, it is a necessary one, and it's a worthwhile one, so bring it on.
Yeah, so Riley, with this, we of course thought of you right away. We had a triple check because we think this is Babylon Bee or something. They're playing with us. You can't possibly have two guys who were banned by another boxing organization in a big-time event going to fight women during the women's boxing.
Of course you can, because the IOC, similarly to the NCAA, similarly to the Biden administration, which will, if Kamala ever becomes president, it will be the same under her administration. We are governed by weak-kneed, spineless, morally bankrupt cowards. So how could you expect anything else? It's tragic that this is the sad reality of it. You think of these women, and again, I know because I was in a similar position, right? I started training, started competing when I was 4 years old, trained my whole entire life, got to the highest stage of my sport, had hoped to win a national title, and then boom, you are forced to compete against a man. That's what these girls are going through. And you're right in saying that you look at these headlines, it's almost kind of this like initial reaction to laugh at it, because if you're looking at it like an SNL skit or like a South Park episode or like a Babylon Bee headline, which are meant to be objectively funny because they're so satirical, it is so hyper-exaggerated. But again, now the gut reaction is still almost to laugh, but it's more so a documentary rather than any sort of satirical piece anymore.
Yeah, you know what, Riley, too, I thought about this. You get it, and I never did anything at your level, but South Philly is hyper-competitive where I played basketball, things like that. I know that as swimmers, we're dealing with 100th of a second here. People don't realize that. They think that they just have an advantage, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You've told us you were trying to shave some days 100th of a second off for months and months and months. That's how intense it is. And we're going to see it with the swimming that comes up. Even people like Phelps had a close call, even the year he won all the medals.
Of course. Yeah, it's an important point to be had. Yeah, you're training, again, your whole life to merely shave a few 100ths of a second off. I mean, that's you can't even blink that quick. And that's all the difference between first place and eighth place. You look at the 50 free at the Olympics. It will be a couple tenths of a second between first place and eighth place, which matters a lot. And when you have men on average, this has been proven in sports like swimming or track and field, any sort of event where there is an objective time that is being had over a certain amount of distance, men on average have a 12% performance gap, athletic performance gap, which 12% over the course of, a minute, or let's say 100 seconds, that's 12 seconds. That's a huge advantage that really no amount of training, no amount of diet or sleep. I mean, 12 seconds, that's something that you just simply can't overcome.
Riley, while we have you here, give us who do you like in swimming? Who is it that we should be looking for, and why are they so good?
Of course, it was incredibly disheartening to see the display, really the satanic, blasphemous display of the opening ceremonies. We've seen a lot of people saying they're boycotting the Olympics. I have so many friends who are still competing, and so I've still been watching. We saw in the 100 fly just, I believe, yesterday, a girl from Nashville, a girl that I've swam with for a very long time, went to University of Virginia, Gretchen Walsh. She holds the world record in the 100 fly. She actually placed second behind another U.S. swimmer. So U.S. went in the women's 100 fly, first and second, which was a huge feat. We saw 2 women from the U.S. on the podium yesterday in the 400 IM, which is the first time in many, many years that both U.S. women have made it. Emma Wyant actually being one of those swimmers who actually placed second, the rightful national champion behind Leah Thomas at the 2022 NCAA championships. She's an Olympic medalist.
Good. That is, yeah.
Hey.
Leah Thomas on the men's
What was her
side.
name again, Emma? What was that?
What was her name?
Emma Wyant, the rightful national champion in the 2022 500 freestyle, but unfortunately, as results show, placed second behind Will Thomas.
So, Ledecky, what is it that makes her so good? Because it's that close, but what is it that makes somebody like that just a little bit better?
Gosh, she is, in the most respectful way, she's a total freak of nature. She is someone who, I mean, you can tell just by her work ethic how hard she trains. I mean, she lives, breathes, eats, sleeps swimming. She already swam the 400, actually placed third, which isn't her best event. So she secured a bronze medal there. She'll go on to swim the 1500 and the 800. So I'm very excited to watch her as well.
Yeah, and well, they say the same thing about Michael Phelps. You know, the little bit that I know, you can see there's something pretty unusual about him. And he has Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas is not nearly as good, but the same kind of build. And imagine somebody like that against females. Dan had a question for you, Riley.
Yeah, Riley, watching the swimming, one person I've grown to really appreciate the color commentary of Rowdy Gaines. Every time I hear his name, a Hall of Famer, I think of you, to be honest. And I'm curious, is there any relation between Riley Gaines and announcer Rowdy Gaines?
We are actually. We're actually cousins.
Wow. Well, nice idea there. Yes.
I know. We didn't know it until we got to know each other pretty well over the years of just competing again at the highest level. And so he approached one day. He said, "You know what? We must be related." And so we did a genealogy test, and we found out we're cousins. We've got ancestors in East Tennessee somehow.
That's amazing. Dom, you got to tune into the swimming because there's calls on all over social media. They got to get Rowdy Gaines to do a college football game or something because the hype in his voice is just fantastic. That's awesome to hear that you're related to him, Ryan.
Absolutely.
Really cool.
Hey, Riley, one other area, too. We were trying to get you on weeks ago because we know how busy you are. This Oregon coach, all he did was write a letter about how preposterous this was, what's happening in Oregon at the state level. Females, you know, they're one shot. Maybe they won't even go on to greatness in college, but they could win a state championship having no shot. He was respectful, and for that, I think he was there 20, 30 years. He's out as a coach.
That's right. Which, again, it speaks to the risk. It speaks to the threats. It speaks to the lengths that the other side is willing to go if you merely even question. If you merely even question what they're doing, never mind oppose it. If you ask the question of why is this happening? Doesn't this seem unfair to you? He wrote a letter to his state senator, who then his state senator reported it back to the university or to the school. It was a high school. To the school, to which then he was ultimately fired.
Wow.
He just announced, though, just this past week, he has filed a suit against the school, which is fantastic. I think these schools act out of fear of getting sued from the other side, right? Getting sued from the ACLU or GLAAD or individuals who identify as trans. But I think to scare them, our side, the side of morality, the side of sanity, of common sense, the side of science, we need to start pushing back in the same way, which is what I'm doing, suing the NCAA, myself and now 19 other athletes, suing the NCAA, which I think they're thrilled that we're suing them. It allows them to continue sitting on their hands because they want to do the right thing. They know that men and women are different. Of course they do. And this allows them to be able to do the right thing without taking any sort of accountability or responsibility.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to donate and help your work, it's Riley Gaines Center, all one word, Riley, R-I-L-E-Y, gainescenter.org. That's the real jump through for you. Where else do we find you, too, during the week? You're doing the sports situation there with Clay Travis, right?
I am. I've got a weekly show with Outkick
Outkick,
so
yeah,
you can check
yeah.
that out at Outkick.com. My show is called Gains for Girls. Just recently had, actually, the Oregon coach on. We have legislators on. We've got world-leading scientists, of course, people who have been impacted by this issue. This past week, we had on a father in San Francisco who lost his child because he was not willing to affirm his 4-year-old child's gender identity that the mom was pushing, but he just won full custody, so it's a victorious story, but great work is being done there, and so you can, again, check that out at Outkick.com.
Riley, thank you. Continued success. Thank you very much, and let's hope for a great Olympics. Thanks, Riley.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Riley Gaines on Talk Radio 1210. Boy, every visit gets bigger and bigger with what she's been able to achieve. Yeah, but you're hearing it here. It's correct. 2 of these guys have been adjudged males by other boxing organizations, but the Olympic group comes in and says, come on now. You know, what could happen here fighting females at that level? We'll see. We'll let you know when the match is on. But imagine the intensity of it. It is hundredths of a second, where even Phelps, Dan, almost lost the year he won 7 or 8 gold medals. So picture that. The guy that's at renowned, how close this is. And you're putting Leah Thomas in there against women. 855-839-1210. You got a line on Talk Radio 1210. Let's talk about Captain Chucky's here for a moment. Captain Chucky's, summertime is here. The living is easy. And all you need for summer gatherings will be very easy with one call and visit to your nearest Captain Chucky's. Get that all-new wild shrimp scampi ravioli. Chucky's teaming up with Vera Pasta, offering lobster, crab, and now wild shrimp ravioli. Remember, order the brand-new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake, the Bang Bang Crab Cake, delicious, creamy, 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. Perfect time to check out all of Captain Chucky's offerings, delicious stuffed mushrooms, salads, soups, desserts, appetizers. They use only the highest quality ingredients. Argyle shrimp is a huge hit. Always wild caught, never farm raised. My favorite, those delicious Dom rolls, too. So visit Captain Chucky's today, location near you. Just visit WeLoveCrabCakes.com. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. If you're headed to the shore, visit CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com.
Am I going to be okay? It's the most important question you should ask yourself when approaching retirement. A financial advisor will probably answer that question by looking at just one thing: how much you've saved. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, we believe that's only half the story. The stock market will continue to go up and down, but at Spectrum Wealth, we can help you build guaranteed lifetime income that's not affected by any of it. Let's sit down together and help you answer the question, am I going to be okay? Call 856-322-8686 or online at spectrumwp.com. And tune into the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering to qualified buyers a maximum discount of $13,176. This offer is good on all 2024 XC90s in stock, $13,176. Plus, the Cherry Hill Volvo 2024 model year sell down. Pricing and attention to detail here is not to be missed. Volvo should be on your shopping list now. This is the time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo.
Now that it's sizzling out, is your AC fizzling out? Beat the heat with Horizon Services. Upgrade that old unit for 0 down and 0% interest and get up to a 12-year warranty on a new HVAC system. Plus, save up to $3,500 in free upgrades and rebates when you schedule your free estimate. Same-day service, expert technicians, and a job done right the first time. Need service today? Visit HorizonServices.com and Horizon is on the way.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Mr. Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra. Joel Embiid is excited.
The process marches on.
Paul George, welcome to Philadelphia.
Morris, hallelujah.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
The Sixers will prevail.
Oh, baby!
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Dom Giordano Show, welcome in. Great one on Twitter, Dan. Frankie Pentangelo. The scene with Tom Hagen at the military base where they're holding him. Don't worry about anything, Frankie. It'll all be taken care of. You know, because they're not going to kill the brother as long as he doesn't continue to testify against Michael Corleone. All right. So that's what we're looking for. Somebody who knows their time is up. All right. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Riley Gaines laying it out beautifully. Dan has a little bit more. Here's Hawley, Senator Hawley from Missouri, who has the whistleblowers apparently intact. And again, if I knew one of these senators better, Dan, I would just text them, yo, can you or can you not bring in the person who was in charge on the ground that day? He said, well, this agency shields it. We can't do anything. What do you mean? Congress has more power here. This is the deep state. It's not in the shadows. It's the bureaucrats right in front of us. All right, here's what Hawley said.
Why is there not a Secret Service counter sniper on that roof?
So, Senator, we're when we post up, our methodology is to look at things that can see in on our protectees, so that they can provide that coverage.
But why is there not a Secret Service counter sniper there with clear line of sight? That roof has a clear line of sight to the former president. Why didn't you put a Secret Service counter sniper there?
The Secret Service's counter sniper role is to neutralize those threats that are looking in on us from where the protectee is, not necessarily
You think maybe you might want to revise that protocol in light of what happened here?
They were protecting the principal, and I think
the principal got shot.
Understand that, sir.
So do you think you might want to revise the protocol? Let me ask you this. Who is the lead site agent
Yes!
who made the decision to leave the AGR building completely outside of the security perimeter? Who was that?
Senator, I cannot give you that name. This person is operational. They're still doing investigations. They're still doing protective visits.
Have they been relieved of duty?
Senator, they have not been relieved of duty.
I know their name, by the way. Why have they not?
I have more, but it looks like you're trying to say something here.
Go ahead. Well, play more, Dan.
Been relieved of duty.
They are still cooperating, not only being interviewed by the FBI, but also by our Office of Professional Responsibility. And we will let the facts of the mission assurance and any further investigations play out.
Isn't the fact that a former president was shot, that a good American is dead, that other Americans were critically wounded, isn't that enough mission failure for you to say that the person who decided that that building should not be in the security perimeter probably ought to be stepped down?
Senator, I think you're using the word decided, and I think we need to allow the investigation play out to include.
Who did make the decision then? If it wasn't the lead site agent, who made the decision not to put that in the security perimeter?
Senator, you're zeroing in on one particular agent. I want to find out exactly what was the entire decision process. So I think I want to be neutral and make sure that we get to the bottom of it and interview everybody in order to determine if there was more than one person who perhaps exercised bad judgment.
Okay, so let's stop it here. Okay, buddy. Here's the bottom line, Dan, what they have to reform. Is it a union thing or something inside there with the Secret Service? That's a question I wish Hawley had gone in. In other words, if these people are lawyered up, they can't do that. Trump was shot. You can't lawyer up so that we'll forget about it. You're out then. In other words, what I'm saying is if you're the site commander there protecting the life of a former president, maybe future president, hopefully, you can't lawyer up so that this will all go away. That's why I guess they can't testify. They'll refuse to testify. Well, if you do, then you're out. What about his rights? What rights here? You're in charge. Tell Congress, which has oversight here, why you made the decisions that you made. Well, that's a matter of national security. No, it's not. It's a matter of a cover-up. All right, we have more coming up where it got more heated, maybe even more than me. Thank you, Josh Hawley, on this. They finally got to this, Dan, why they don't have, these people are all unionized or some federal civil service or something, just like those agents in Richmond. I don't want to talk to Christopher Wray. I want to talk to the clowns who said that traditional God-fearing Catholics, we have to go and put surveillance on them, take down their license numbers and investigate them because they're a domestic terrorist threat. I want to talk to those clowns, not Christopher Wray. That's where the reform is. I wish Hawley would say, this is what we have to reform. We're going to play you a little bit more of the back and forth. That's coming up, big 1 o'clock hour here. First, let me remind you about FanDuel, because FanDuel is the best place to bet the games this summer. In partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. You can bet on all your favorite international teams and all your favorite sports, from basketball to badminton, soccer to swimming. FanDuel has it all. Don't miss your chance to score $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to sign up. Start betting the game today. Make every moment more with FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. We all love summer, right? But the beach isn't just for summer. In fact, the beach, and in particular the Cape May beach, is just beautiful in the fall. If you haven't been to Cape May in the fall, you're missing out, and you should book your stay at the Grand Hotel of Cape May for a September to remember. The Grand offers special midweek packages so you can enjoy the beach without breaking the bank. Stay 2 nights and save 10%. Stay 3 nights, get 10% off and $55 a night in resort credits. Stay 5 nights, you're going to get 10% off and $65 a night in resort credits, and they can be used at Hemingway's for food and drink, the gift shop, and so much more. The Grand offers guest room suites and townhomes equipped with a kitchenette, and they have 2 huge heated pools, 1 outdoor and 1 indoor. I'm telling you, The Grand is my happy place, and you will not be disappointed. Book directly with them for the best rates. Book your stay today at 800-257-8550 or visit them online at grandhotelcapemay.com. And our next live show is Friday, September 6th. So book your stay today, grandhotelcapemay.com.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk premium. These are top-of-the-line appliances that dream kitchens are made of. If you're planning an investment like this in your home, where you buy is as important as what you buy. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're committed to delivering the superior buying experience you deserve. Our showroom features beautifully displayed premium appliances of every major brand, including highly sought-after Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove. Our team of gurus is well-versed at guiding you as you navigate the same appliances you'd find in the most magnificent homes and kitchens of cooking enthusiasts. And the National Appliance Warehouse team has the expertise to properly deliver and install your stunning new appliances.
Celebrate Christmas in July at National Appliance Warehouse. Purchase a qualifying Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliance package and choose 3 years of additional warranty or rebate up to $2,500. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit the showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. I apologize on hold. We'll get to your calls. We'll get you in on the side question, etc. But boy, Ted Cruz bringing it today, and Josh Hawley has all those whistleblowers. And the problem is, again, functionally, how are these people that actually were making the decisions shielded? Ultimately, there's got to be a power of Congress to force them to testify. I remember Christopher Wray. No, you're not going to hear from the Richmond office. What do you mean? We're Congress. There's got to be a mechanism here. Here's a little bit more of Hawley, though, and it got even more heated with Ted Cruz trying to get an answer to the existential question, why did they let him go on? Who is it that was there? Can't know that. You're not allowed. We're not going to tell you any of that. Then you're out. Let's get this guy out. Let's get somebody in who is going to tell us. Who is it that made the decisions that day? And should they be relieved for that? Here's a little bit more with Hawley and the acting head of the Secret Service.
Who did make the decision then? If it wasn't the lead site agent, who made the decision not to put that in the security perimeter?
Senator, you're zeroing in on one particular agent. I want to find out exactly what was the entire decision process. So I think I want to be neutral and make sure that we get to the bottom of it and interview everybody in order to determine if there was more than one person who perhaps exercised bad judgment.
Well, sure. My question is, why don't you relieve everybody of duty who made bad judgment? So, yeah, you're right. I am zeroing in on somebody. I'm trying to find somebody who's accountable here. So you're telling me that the person who made the decision not to include this in the perimeter has not been relieved of duty. What about the person who's in charge of the interoperability of radio frequencies between local law enforcement and Secret Service? Has that person been relieved of duty?
No, Senator, because interoperability is a challenge, is a greater challenge than just one person. On that day, we had a counterpart system. It failed
As the person who made the decision to send Donald Trump onto stage knowing that you had a security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir, they haven't.
Has the person who decided not to pull the former president off of stage when you knew that, in your words, the locals were working a serious security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir. Again, I refer you back to my original answer that we are investigating this through mission assurance. And as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to investigate to know
exactly what the decision-making process was? What more do you need to
investigate to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their jobs.
I cannot put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on the scale?
You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the Secret Service.
Is it not prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days, just like you have.
Somebody
and I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable.
You are
and
out.
I will do
Get
so
him out.
with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly persecuted?
Unfairly,
We've got people who are
we
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you've got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally-goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
Senator, I think this is where you and I agree. This was a failure, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Okay, here it's a dance. And this guy, somebody ought to summarize it this way. We see this all the time in these situations. 60 days. What's the magic of that? Hawley's right. It's a dance. I am not going to rush to judgment. Wait a minute. Somebody made the decision. No matter who said what and went back and forth, there was one decision maker. That seems to be the case on most of these things. And I don't care about firing them. I just care about bringing them before the American people. How is it that we can talk to the top level people, but these other people, like those people in Richmond, they're shielded from us to answer the questions, and you see what happens. They're saying ultimately, there's some union thing here, there's some formation that doesn't, that would be a rush to judgment. 17 days he talked about. I think it strikes me as even longer. That's not enough time that they shouldn't be moving heaven and earth to get to the bottom of that and to put that person forward or to tell us exactly why they can't testify before the American public. You know what happens here? Slow walk, run out the clock, bureaucracy, 60 days, yada, yada, yada. Good for Hawley. Good for several of these Republicans. Why is it the Democrats are on the defensive here? Are they defending somehow or another that there's some defense? No, they are, because they immediately say the obligatory, we don't want political violence. And then they immediately start blaming guns or they want to go off onto some tangent about slope roofs or something else that the former Secret Service person talked about. Just amazing to run out the clock. Why? Why are they not concerned to get to the bottom of this? It could just as easily be a Democrat that was shot at here based upon what they've said about this guy. All right, Ted Cruz. I think Hawley took it up as far as you can go, maybe. But Ted Cruz takes a little bit different line here, but it's the same antagonism with this guy.
Let me ask you something. And who makes the decision to deny those requests? Did you make that decision?
Which requests? Are you talking about the ones that were in the
Any of
Washington
them.
Post?
Yes.
So the process, sir, is that a detail will make a request for either staffing, technical assets. That is handled between the field office and the detail. It goes up to a logistics office between our
Okay,
office
so
of
there's a bureaucracy. Is there a decision maker?
It's not a bureaucracy, Senator.
Give me the
it's a
person
process.
that's the decision maker. Is there one?
Senator, it's a conversation. It's not just an absolute yay or nay.
So let me tell you what I believe. I believe that the Secret Service leadership made a political decision to deny these requests. And I think the Biden administration has been suffused with partisan politics. Did the same person who denied the request for additional security to President Trump also repeatedly deny the request for security to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose father was murdered by an assassin and whose uncle was murdered by an assassin? Did the same person make that decision?
Senator, what I will tell you is that Secret Service agents are not political.
Okay, you're not answering my question. But you know what? Leadership appointed by the president, leadership appointed by the president is political. I have a simple question, yes or no. Did the same person deny the Trump request that also denied the RFK request? That's a yes or no question.
Senator, that is not a yes or no question. One, there is a process for a candidate nominee to receive protection.
Does the buck stop anywhere? Does the buck stop anywhere?
Bipartisan process that the Hill
participates in. It's a bicameral, bipartisan process. What camera?
For a candidate,
We're not Congress. You don't
protectee,
have a camera.
Mr. Kennedy submitted a request that was referred over to the CPAC.
Okay, you're refusing to answer the question. Let me ask, because the failures on that day were catastrophic. By the way, is it true that on the day of the Butler event that Secret Service transferred agent from President Trump to the First Lady?
No, sir, that's not true.
That's been widely reported.
It's not true. There was one airport agent that actually went on the manpower request for the Trump detail. They handled the arrival at the airport
What
for
is
the First Lady.
What was the relative size of the Trump detail compared to the detail that is assigned to the President or the First Lady?
Senator, the former president travels with a full shift, just like the president.
What's so the exact same size? Is that your testimony that President Trump had the same size detail that President Biden has?
On the day of in Butler, the agents surrounding him, it is the same number of agents surrounding the president today. There is a difference between a sitting president who also not only
Hold on, you're using president in a way that is not clear. Is it your testimony that in Butler, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump had the same number of agents protecting him that Joe Biden has at a comparable event?
I'm telling you the shift, the close protection shift surrounding.
That's a yes
what you
or no.
asked me, Senator, and I'm trying to answer it.
You are not answering it. Is
He
it the
is
same
not
number of
answering
agents
it.
or not?
Senator, there is a difference between the sitting president of the United States.
Then what's the difference?
The difference?
2x, 3x, 5x,
National
10x?
Command Authority to launch a nuclear strike. Sir,
I'm
there
not
are other
asking.
assets
How many more
travel with
agents?
the president that the former president will
you are
not get.
refusing to
but
answer
the number
straight.
of Secret Service
Sir,
agents protecting him.
Stop interrupting me.
Go ahead,
You
Senator.
are refusing to answer clear and direct questions. I am asking the relative difference in the number of agents between those assigned to Donald Trump and those assigned to Joe Biden. I'm not asking why you assign more to Joe Biden. I'm asking, is the difference, is it 2x? Is it 3x? Is it 5x? Is it 10x?
Senator, I will get you that number so you can see it with your own eyes.
All right, there we go. Nicely by Ted Cruz. And Dan, you notice what he was trying to do there. Well, the shift, it's not, my God, it's not about a shift of protection. It's about at the event itself, which you would think would be enhanced versus, Trump's playing golf there, Dan, out in the middle of the 18th fairway. The only thing he's worried about is he going to hit it over the water or not. How many agents do you need for that versus some maniac trying to kill him? My God. Boy, good work today by Holy Cruz. I didn't listen to Senator Kennedy's thing. We'll play him a little bit later from Louisiana, going back and forth with Neil Cavuto. Do I think it's a good idea to call Kamala Harris a ding-dong, a bit of a ding-dong, as he said? No, probably not tactically. But did I like it that he told Neil Cavuto, yeah, I am going to call her a ding-dong, Neil. What's your problem here? Defend that. All right, we'll get to a little bit of that. Dan, anything else? What's your takeaway from all this?
Just listening through it, it's very interesting. I feel there's more coming out details-wise today than there were in their congressional ones.
Yeah.
So there's at least that. But still nothing completely concrete, and that's what's disappointing is I feel all the answers that are being given by this new acting guy are just muddying the waters even more and lending to more conspiracy theories, and I think that's what we need to dig out of at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, and the only way you're going to do that is by getting the person who was actually making these decisions. Why not include where this happened? Or Sean Parnell, who was there, said, well, why didn't they block it with construction equipment? There were things there that would have made that line of sight. You wouldn't have been able to fire from it. All right, we have the mayor of Slippery Rock coming up. He was also there, right there behind. He's a favorite of President Trump, buddy of Scott Presler. He's coming on to talk about that a little bit after this testimony. And Trump is going back to the very same spot, a rally in support of the firefighter who was killed in memoriam here. Boy, I'll give you this, though, Dan. I like this guy a lot better as far as fodder here, this acting chief, than Cheadle. You know, she just doesn't answer. And, you know, you get tired of pummeling her. This guy, you could pummel him all day, particularly when he said bicameral or something. What the heck? My goodness. I think the root cause of a lot of this, how do we come to a point where you have people that cannot be called upon to testify? Dan, I have to admit it. I see a potential winning answer up here, two of them. I told you this was a good one. When the character knows their time is up, movie or TV, they're going to die. They're going to be killed. John in Jenkintown on Talk Radio 1210. All right, John, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Dom. I love you and Dan. It's great. You have a great show.
Thank you, John.
Just wanted to let you know I was thinking of Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino.
Yes. When he sets it up that he's going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows he has terminal cancer. He knows the only way to put this gang in prison and get them away from that family is to do something like this. And he pulls out what they think is a gun, and it turns out to be a lighter. And he gets shot, and yeah.
Yeah, and thank God in Gran Torino, Larry Krasner wasn't there in the background on the scene. God knows what would have happened.
That's right. Yeah. And when the camera pans up, he's laying there in the shape of a cross, too.
Yeah,
so
it's one of Eastwood's great. There's so many scenes in that matchup. Thank you, John. That's a great one, John. That's probably in the lead, Dan. Did you see Torino or no?
No.
Yeah, it's a premise, neighborhood changing, Hamong.
Isn't that the Get Off My Lawn meme?
Yes. Yeah. Get off my lawn. But he's walking with a gun and kicking people and all this. So there's a scene where the Asian woman, Dan, is dating this white guy who's kind of weak, and he's going up trying to placate a few guys that stop him. He attacks everybody, Clint Eastwood. He attacks the guy as, shouldn't be with this woman. Then he attacks the people that were going to assail everybody. So it's a tour de force. But, yeah, he takes one for the team. All right. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Give me your reaction to that. This the Senate was much better, even though Lindsey Graham is one of the sub-chairs. God, just a sight of him. 855-839-1210. Jump in now.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Marcella from Brooklyn.
Great debate between Harris and Trump. You guys are out of this world and out of this park.
There we go. I think what we have done, since we are now live and local from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., if Stalker ever has ambitions to be local and live 24/7, I see a show with Sean Farish, Esther, and Marcella from Brooklyn.
I like the energy, passion.
There you go.
Bringing the facts to the radio.
There you go.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to be tried, true, and proven by over 5,000 crash-proof consumers.
I am Nancy Harding. This is my husband, Robert. With the crash-proof system, we are inflation-proof.
To offset inflation, we could take more cash out. The rest of our system will continue to grow.
And at a faster rate than we take it out. It makes his sleep, hence my sleep, so much better.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania.
Being with Crash Proof is like being in a big family, and everyone's very happy.
The Crash Proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in, and even though we're using money, we're still making more money, and at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life and retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Schedule an appointment to crash-proof your retirement future. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Why are prices spiking in Pennsylvania? It's simple. It's inflation. And Senator Bob Casey's reckless spending caused the problem to grow. Casey joined Washington liberals in voting for trillions in reckless spending. All of Senator Casey's spending caused inflation to get out of control until disaster. Everything is too expensive, from gas to groceries. And Senator Casey helped create this mess. Worse, Casey voted to allow COVID relief checks for illegal immigrants and convicted criminals, even murderers. Senator Casey voted to allow more money for illegals, leaving less for us. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act, paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Chester police say someone fired shots at cars that were parked in a Chesterbrook neighborhood. Governors Josh Shapiro and Gretchen Whitmer rallied together in Ambler for Kamala Harris. And a third child has died after a stabbing at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class in England.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Boy, exhausting. And by the way, how the heck did Texas ever elect this guy, John Cornyn? My God. He's just a dish rag versus the Cruzes and the Hawleys. And the guy that I would make Secretary of State or Defense is Tom Cotton, though. That's probably the best role for him. He'd be gangbusters in a Trump administration doing that. By the way, one of my sources, Dan, says they think this Roe guy got caught sending a directive that agents guarding Trump are never to wear a red tie. You would think you'd want him wearing red ties. That way they couldn't tell which one was Trump or not, you know? Might be a never
Trumper really not allowed
here.
To do it? I thought it was a requirement that everyone in his circle had to wear it.
Yeah, I prefer the blue, but then
it has to be an extra long one, even if you're not tall.
You know, I hate the extra long,
below the belt
I
buckle.
think it looks Chris Christie sloppy, so... But
it's a style. He loves it past the belt buckle.
I am
supposed to touch the belt buckle, not go beyond it.
I am at a point of a 5 o'clock shadow for the Don Trump Jr. event.
Let me see. Stand up real quick. I can't.
No, I'm not doing it yet.
Oh, why not yet?
I mean, days before. It only takes me 2 days. You'll see.
Okay.
We'll have the before and after.
See, for me, I'd have to
week.
start growing it now.
I wonder how many men coming are going to wear a beard in honor of the Don Trump event.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But, I still think the beard is a little bit iffy with...
No, Ro's going to love it. You're going to keep it after this event.
Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. Remember, get those tickets at 1210WPHT.com. Here is a little bit of... didn't want to play that one yet. I had them all written out here somewhere, too, Dan. Here is... cut 12. Here is Trump talking about going back to Butler, Pennsylvania. We're going to have the mayor of Slippery Rock, who was shot at. He was on the stage also. The significance of Butler and why it's Trump country. Here's what he said.
Going back to, it's interesting to finish it. You say, and now to proceed
continued,
from
to
where...
be continued.
Yeah, I mean,
Why? Why
it's
do
a
you...
very interesting way of looking at it.
I mean, I think that's, I think I've said that was a good idea. It's a good idea. Why?
I think it's important symbolically. I don't think we should be stopped by somebody that has severe mental problems or whatever his problem was.
You're going to do rallies outside.
Yeah, I'm going to do rallies.
All right, so going to do rallies outside, without a doubt. The angle of attack, though, today, again, continuing. They're in love with this. Now, think of a party. How many weirdos do we see routinely under the badge of diversity with Democrats? And I get it, how they're making that play with J.D. Vance based on some of the statements. They're trying to make that stick. But how is Trump weird? Here is Governor Walz. And I don't know how in the world they would tag this guy in that they're considering him from Minnesota. He talks about that you never see Trump laugh. 11A.
Things. So when these guys get in situations in front of real people and trying to pretend like they know what people are going through, they've got nothing to offer. And no one can picture them in their own lives. I brought this thing up that Donald Trump tries to mock Vice President Harris for laughing. And I made the point, you never see this guy laugh. You never see him do these normal things. Imagine when I go home at night, I pick up the Frisbee and throw it, and my dog catches it and comes over.
Oh, come on, man. What are you just saying that you hate when politicians try to relate and now you're putting out this cornball statement?
I drink Mountain Dew. What's wrong with it?
Come on. He's not going home and throwing a Frisbee to his pup.
Have you seen this guy? I don't think he could throw it 2 feet. I want to know what his handicap is in golf. This guy's $1 million.
You never see him do these normal things. Imagine when I go home at night, I pick up the Frisbee and throw it, and my dog catches it, comes over, he gets the belly rub for being a good boy. Picture these guys doing that kind of stuff. Gosh. They just can't. And what it allows us to do is, we hear where you're coming from. And I made the pitch that I watched that rally in St. Cloud, Minnesota, where he lied about the election and lied about everything. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I thought was so joyful is Kamala Harris is going to be there to provide reproductive health care to those women who were standing behind him. He's going to be there to make sure Social Security's there for those seniors who were standing behind him as he talked about nonsense. Going to be there to make sure that those workers can unionize to get a good job. That's the politics of this. Whether they vote for us or not, that's irrelevant. Taking the country forward with a positive message on things that work, that's what people are inspired about. I'm telling you, they got nothing. What are they going to pivot? What are they going to tell us about? I'm a Legion guy. They're not talking in the Legion clubs about banning books and things. They're wondering why this Project 25 cuts VA benefits.
Oh,
why would they do that? Why is Donald Trump for doing that? And you never hear him talk about it. So this is a golden opportunity. Yes, they're weird. They prove that every day. It's an observation. You can't picture them doing these things. But what it does is it opens it up for a lot of really good people who want to know what the Democrats stand for. What can you guys do for us? And I think that's what the vice president's brought to the race.
I pray that this guy is the VP choice. Too. Oh, man, I want to see the Frisbee. I want to see, Dan, they'll go out, they'll buy a Frisbee that will have no dog marks on it, no dog bite on it. And Trump laughing. This guy's walking, but, isn't it a layup? Why are they playing with this? It should be Josh Shapiro for them. We know why they're playing with it. They have a dilemma. He would help them win Pennsylvania. There is no doubt. It would be tougher. And yet, not going to do it easily. Why? Oh, there was that sexual harassment suit. That's not why. He's Jewish. He knows it. They all know it. They're bigots. That's what's involved. By the way, I have the number here, speaking of that, from our buddy Scott Presler. I checked his Twitter, Dan, and they're up in Bucks County now. I think it's in the 200s. So that's up over 100. And Bucks County now is up 367 from 264, red to blue. That's last week, so up 103. And Luzerne picked up, it's 1265 down now from 1370. So both Luzerne's going to fall in maybe 7-8 weeks, all right, in time for the election. And Presler is out there doing just unbelievable work. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board.
You think this weird crap's going to work for them?
Well, let's be honest. J.D. Vance is the one that has to watch it. I don't think anybody ever called Trump weird. They said he was hateful. They say that all the time.
I feel like it's going to backfire. It's so hypocritical for a progressive Democrat to support what is essentially bullying, calling someone weird, odd, when they, for the past however long, have been saying, that should be accepted, weird, oddities, and... it's
diversity,
yeah,
all those things.
Diversity of thought, and
and
now they're the ones being the mean girls in the room and bullying and calling people weird. It's gonna backfire, Dom.
And particularly with this guy. This guy thinks he's down home in Minnesota and all. Josh Shapiro's got to be laughing, saying, "Look, we all know I ought to be the guy here. If I'm calling this, I don't want Shapiro in there as VP. Not that we still can't win Pennsylvania, but guys like Walz." And Mark Kelly with a spy balloon thing with China deal? My God.
Cut 10.
Yeah.
You got to play cut 10. There's
okay, let's hear it. Yeah.
Some of what he and his running mate are saying, well, it's just plain weird.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are.
As weird and creepy as J.D. Vance.
Super weird idea from J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's quite weird. They're just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
That stuff is weird. They come across weird, and then they start being weird. Yeah, they're weird.
Being a really weird.
He's such a weirdo.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate are weird. Deeply and profoundly weird. They are weird.
These Republicans just being weird, it's just weird. It's really weird.
Republican weirdness goes even deeper.
He said a lot of things that are weird, a weird style that he brings, weird policies. Let's start with the weird thing, because it is a thing.
Just plain weird.
Dan, there seems to be something here, too, about women. So we're not the mean girls like that. But, it seems to be a matter of fact that maybe the more conservative, moderate women are the more attractive. I don't see, when I look in Congress and all these progressive women, Tlaib, do I see there? Wow, stunner. I think AOC's attractive. But then after that, I don't see a whole lot. So they're playing with that J.D. Vance, couldn't get a woman or something like that, and weird. He's too academic in some of this stuff.
They're turning into a fear tactic, too, and that's the scary part, is you had me pull that new ad that's being shoved in the youth voters' face, and I showed it to, I had to actually leave the office and bring it to Maisie to show her, because it's by far the most ridiculous political ad I've ever heard in my life.
We'll play that upcoming, and we have the mayor of Slippery Rock. Yeah, and they're using that to appeal with men. And what kind of self-respecting guy was on that Zoom call yesterday? White dudes, for Kamala. All right, Jeff Bridges was on
white,
it.
I'm a dude, and I'm for Harris.
At least he's the dude from Big Lebowski. A very overrated film, by the way, Dan. It's okay, The Big Lebowski, but it's not something I charge into easily. All right, give us that moment. I see a lot of good ones up here where the character knows they're going to get it. Somebody's going to kill them at this point. I've given some. Dan, yours was, again, the Independence Day, which is a really good one. Some of them are the character taking one for the team. Dan, you've had to see this. Don't talk to Luke and don't let him know if you haven't seen it. I Am Legend. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Isn't that taking one for the team at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's Will Smith at his best. I really like that film. I know it's
Did he really stop anything, though?
Well, yeah. He got them out of there and gave them the secret formula.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
You're right, yeah.
For society, they wouldn't get out of there any other way. And
Isn't that the movie with the dog, too?
Yeah, the dog. Oh, God, it was unbelievable. But charging at, not just, I don't want to give everything, but charging at the guy, too. It wasn't like, I'm just going to throw a grenade at you. I'm coming right down at you guys. I admire that so much. Yeah. All right. Phone lines are 855-839-1210. We'll talk with the mayor of Slippery Rock, who was there, was shot at too. He wasn't hit, blocked it. His wife, he's a Marine, and he's welcoming President Trump back for that big rally. He's next. Hey, the best place to bet the games this summer is FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. I'm sorry about that. I've already told you about that. I meant it. Yeah, but I meant to tell you about getting a gift. That's always better to start with. A gift from Rescue Natural Supplements. It's their Christmas in July sale. That's right. The season of giving is making a summer comeback with huge savings. That means all health supplements will be slashed up to 50, 60, even 70% off site-wide. Treat yourself with savings on heart-healthy omega-3s, pain-relieving anti-inflammatories, natural immunity boosters, and a lot more. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE. That's 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, don't miss Rescue's Christmas in July sale. Shop savings up to 70% off all natural solutions for those highs and lows, from high blood pressure or cholesterol to lower energy or testosterone. Rescue's got you covered. Hurry on over. Unwrap the joy of a healthier you at res-q.com. Do it today.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit EasyOutRealEstate.com. This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. Did you know we are having a full one-day event on August 17th? It's called the Money Hacks event. You want to come to this event and you will learn how to become your own bank, how to invest in real estate without any money. You will learn the stock market and you will learn how to build credit for cash-flowing assets, and so much more. It's a full day packed with information. Use the code 1210, that's 1210, to get a 50% discount on the ticket. Go to 4mmw.com, that's 4mmw.com, and register today.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you. Weather sponsored by Budget Blinds.
A humid air mass will remain in place through the rest of the week. Partly to mostly cloudy today with a late day shower or storm, high 86. Better chance for some showers and storms tonight with a low 72. And partly sunny, hot and humid on Wednesday with a shower or storm, high 92.
Summer's a great time to brighten up the window treatments in your home. Budget Blinds is your one-stop shop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no-questions-asked warranty in the business. Budgetblinds.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. You know, our connection with Scott Presler allows us to reach out in places you wouldn't imagine, like Slippery Rock. I've always loved the name of that place. And
name.
Yeah, based on him and based on what we've heard, we hooked up with Mayor J.D. Longo. A lot of military experience. Presler has done all kinds of rallies with him, a real force there. And this is where President Trump is going in the near future for this rally that we just told you about. So without further ado, let's bring in the mayor of Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Thank you for doing this, Mayor. We're big fans of yours.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate the opportunity. I'm a fan of yours as well.
Well, thank you very much. I look at all of his credits, Dan. He is an infantry rifleman in the U.S. Marines. He's deployed in Afghanistan, support of the global war on terror. He is a very young guy, elected mayor. He's a very academic background, too. But, Mayor, I have to tell you, all that pales. He is vouched for and a friend of Scott Presler. That does it. None of the other stuff. It could be congressional matter. Well, I don't want to kid too much about that. But Scott Presler all the time talks about you, just the way he says Slippery Rock. And Slippery Rock has a little bit of allure to me, because Steve Sable played at Slippery Rock and then went on to NFL Films. So where is Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania located?
Yeah, so we're in the northwestern part of Butler County. We're situated about 30 minutes away from the Butler Farm Show, where President Trump recently came to visit on July 13th, and where the awful tragedy that was that day and the loss of life for Corey Pompadour had occurred, unfortunately. But we are perfectly situated there at the crossroads of I-80 and I-79 in western Pennsylvania, about an hour from downtown Pittsburgh, an hour from downtown Erie. So really well situated geographically as far as our ability to grow and to prosper is concerned.
Now, Mayor, you were in the front row along with Sean Parnell, who's been on the show when this happened, and we've read some of the stuff you've said in some of the interviews. You shielded your wife. Tell us what you were thinking that day as it all developed. I'm talking about after we knew the president was essentially safe. And then we'll talk about this upcoming event where Trump is coming back to the very same farm show.
Yeah. So, where can I start? I think my day started much like everybody else's day who was going to attend the Trump rally in Butler on July 13th. It was with a smile. It was with elation. I was reminiscing with many of my friends about the October 31st, 2020 rally where President Trump came to visit. I was given an opportunity then to lead that rally. And by the way, that was one of the largest rallies that he ever held since he began this great experiment. And that was in Butler County. So I was honored a second time when the campaign asked me to come and join them at the Butler Farm Show on July 13th. So I was so excited. My family, my wife, my in-laws, my mother, my sister included, were going with me to come and experience the day and hear from President Trump. We've adored President Trump since he came down the golden escalator years ago, and Butler County is very much a blood-red Trump country. So this was a great big day for us. We were honored that he would come to visit us again. Unfortunately, tragedy struck when this lunatic decided to do violence against Donald Trump and against the rally attendees. And, it's really a mix of feelings here, sir. Part of me is relieved that my family is okay and healthy, especially my pregnant wife. We had just found out she was expecting a few weeks prior to the rally. So I think we were probably going into this rally with a lot of hope and inspiration for what the future might hold for us as a family and for our child, who, we certainly are concerned about in terms of how they're going to get along in this world. really hoping for a Trump presidency to help bring us out of a lot of the darkness that we've seen over the last 4 years under a Biden-Harris administration. I did my speech. My wife and I went backstage to chat with the president right before he took the stage. It was about 15, 20 minutes before the shots rang out. I was one of the last ones to have met him. And I have to say, too, such a gracious man, kind, soft-spoken. And I was honored, too, that he would compliment me on my remarks on stage. And I just thought, how crazy is that? Was he really listening to me? Then I came. He said, great job, Mayor. I listened to every word, is what he said. And, he said, keep that up. And then he asked me, how's it looking out there, Mayor? What's it like on the ground? What are you hearing? I said, Mr. President, Butler County is working very hard for you, sir. We are going to help deliver Pennsylvania to you and take you back to the White House. He said, I think we're going to do it, Mayor. I said, I really hope so, Mr. President. He said, well, keep up the good work, please. Go on and get out there, and I'll see you out there. When I got back to my seat, I happened to open up my phone, and I saw a picture of them all watching the pre-program of the rally on Trump Force One on their way in. And I said to my wife, I said, he wasn't full of baloney. He really did watch and listen to my remarks. And so I was honored. He complimented me a second time when he came out on stage. My wife just so happened to catch a video of him catching me in the crowd. Of course, I was there in the front row, nearest where he would enter the stage. And he points at me and points at the podium and says, great job. So, again, I just want to paint this picture for you because it's all smiles. The energy was electric. We were just having a great time.
I hear you, Mayor. So I wanted to ask you now the aftermath of this, where you are, and you personally, public figure, military guy. What's your sense? I've been holding the line and saying this is just massive incompetency. Haven't seen if you've taken is it that or something even worse?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can tell you just from what I, noticed on the ground, sitting there, and keep in mind too, I spent a considerable amount of time backstage, getting prepared to speak, and then meeting with the president. So I didn't get a real great chance to observe everything outside the venue. So I saw a couple things. First of all, I have to give credit to the local law enforcement officers and the Secret Service agents who were inside the venue with us because they conducted themselves with honor. And with courage that whole day. They were concerned about our safety. They were handing out water to us because it was 90 degrees and humid. And I saw them spring into action whenever the shots rang out. So that's what I observed there. Now, after the fact, looking at all of this and hearing a great many number of people, especially the Biden-Harris administration and the United States Secret Service and even the FBI, in pointing fingers and saying that the local police departments who were adding to the security for the event are somehow the sole proprietors of this tragedy and of the failure. That really upsets me, sir. Really upsets me.
Absolutely.
You know as well as I do that for an event like this, when somebody like the United States Secret Service or the FBI or Department of Homeland Security is involved, local law enforcement agencies defer to and depend on direction from these higher agencies who have the capability and the wherewithal to manage a great many number of people and make sure that everybody is safe and sound. In my opinion, and I think in the opinion of most Americans, the Biden-Harris administration, the United States Secret Service, failed in their responsibility to not only President Trump and his campaign, but to us, the American people, in not just not fulfilling their duty, but deliberately, it seems almost, that they sabotage the ability for security to be what it should have been for an event like this. I understand that multiple requests were made by the Trump campaign for additional security. Those were denied. They had sniper teams on their own that they did not deploy in the manner that I saw in 2020 whenever they had come to Butler County. And I understand now, too, that they totally skipped out on any kind of briefing or communications with our local and state police departments. And how dare they then, knowing those things, point fingers at those of us on the ground here.
We're talking with Mayor J.D. Longo, mayor of Slippery Rock. Parting area for you, Mayor. Coming up now, President Trump coming back, which I certainly endorse, and I'm sure you do. And the next rally there will be in honor, sadly, of the one person who was killed that day. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I got to say it is quite an honor, and how great it is that President Trump would come back to show his support and his care for Corey and for his family, who are undoubtedly just devastated by this. But, past that, too, it is a testament to President Trump's love and care for us in Butler County. His visit is very much going to be a part of our healing process and elevating the name of Butler County out of the dirt and the mud and the ugliness of July 13th. And more than that, it's a testament to his strength and his fortitude and to the reasons why he is our champion and deserves to be our leader once again as President of the United States and Commander of the Armed Forces, leader of the free world even. We saw some of that strength and fortitude on stage there whenever he stood up in triumphant defiance and raised his fist in the air to let everybody know that he was okay, and he said the words fight, fight, fight. That was a reprieve for us on the ground, for those of us who were there. It gave us a little bit of good in a really awful time. But this second visit now is going to be an even bigger reprieve for us. And it proves that he is dedicated to us, the people in Butler County, where we have adored the president, again, since he came down the golden escalator.
Absolutely. Mayor, it's such a bad circumstance, but the silver lining, we've heard about you from Scott Presler. Great to talk with you. And again, right before the event, we'd like to get you back on and talk about it. Mayor J.D. Longo, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. It was a pleasure.
All right, there's a great American mayor of Slippery Rock, and he'll be our conduit when President Trump comes back there for that special event. Speaking of Trump, we've been after this guy for a long time. Former White House physician for President Obama, President Trump, now a congressman, and the person that Trump said, get me Ronnie Jackson over here to look at my ear. We'll go inside Trump's ear and find out what Jackson thinks about the shooting. That's at 2 o'clock. But next, it's Inside the Mind of Dan. That's or Dan time, as sometimes called. That's next here on Talk Radio 1210. Let's talk FanDuel first of all, though. The best place to bet the games this summer is FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. Then you can bet on all your future international teams and all your favorite sports, from basketball to badminton, soccer to swimming. FanDuel has it all. So don't miss your chance to score $150 in bonus bets if that first bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom. Sign up and start betting the games today. Make every moment more with FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. Have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is moving to Thursday, September 12th. Join Dom Giordano as he talks to Donald Trump Jr. about all things Trump. Just 2 days after the planned presidential debate. The new date, Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. That's 1210WPHT.com.
Pennsylvania's statewide tobacco-free recovery initiative supports your local radio station and reminds those in substance use disorder recovery that learning tobacco-free coping skills improves the chances of long-term recovery by 25%, and that more than 70% of Pennsylvanians in recovery believe these skills are helpful to both recovery and mental health. To learn more, visit tobaccofreerecoverypa.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Sponsored by the Philadelphia Department of Public Health.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
You can still look great in that bathing suit this summer since it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds with NJ Diet. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. Within a week of starting, you will notice pounds coming off and you'll feel good too since you are doing it the natural way, quickly and safely. You can still get slimmer this summer and without any shots. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com to lose the weight for good.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Yo, Roy is Ford. What? We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's stand time
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
with Dom.
That's right, it's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan time with Dom. And Dom, before we get to Ronnie Jackson coming up next, I want to play back a new Fear Factor type ad that's been released by a new PAC led by the host or podcast producer of Pod Save America.
Yes.
Yeah, Barack Obama staffer-led podcast.
Smartest in the room, yeah.
Yeah, he's a TV writer, and now he's leading a super PAC, and they released a new ad, Dom, that targets the weirdness that they allege is rife in the conservative party, particularly with Project 2025. And I showed this to Maisie, and we laughed about it because this right here is proof, if you ever needed it, of Democrats employing fear to try to gain some votes. Take a listen.
Us MAGA Republicans banned abortion, but that's just the start.
That's just the start.
If Trump gets elected, we want the government involved in all aspects of your sex life.
Way more involved.
Way more involved.
When you have sexual intercourse, it should be illegal to use contraception. No pills, no condoms.
Your genitals are reserved for procreation.
If you freeze 12 eggs, you should be required to have 12 babies, or else you're a serial killer. And I'm definitely not a serial killer.
Are you?
My son monitors my porn usage to make sure I'm not self-pleasuring.
Just like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. That's true, you can look it up.
Don't you think that's normal?
Yeah, I do.
It's normal for your son to do that.
You should have a family member monitor your porn use too.
Because pleasuring yourself is very, very naughty.
I'm voting in November.
I'm voting in November. We're all voting in November. Are you?
Because what happens in your bedroom is up to me.
Is up to me and my son. Also, mouth stuff is a sin.
Oh my God! At the end, Dan, you saved the bet. They buried the lead there. Buried the lead
also,
there.
Mouth stuff is a sin.
Oh gosh,
my
never
God!
Again.
Who knew that J.D. Vance was up to all this?
Yeah, so prepare to hear more of that kind of crap from this PAC. Won't pack down. They're trying to target younger voters, Dom, but Fear Factor is rife through that Democratic Party. That's all I got for Dan time. Next up, Ronnie
Jackson. By the way, are J.D. Vance's kids white or biracial? I'll tell you why that's important. They're going after him on that. Ronnie Jackson, Trump's personal physician, next on Talk Radio 1210.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process process ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Chester police say someone fired shots at cars that were parked in a Chesterbrook neighborhood. Governors Josh Shapiro and Gretchen Whitmer rallied together in Ambler for Kamala Harris. And a third child has died after a stabbing at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class in England.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Mr. Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra.
Joel Embiid is excited. The process marches on.
Oh, George, welcome to Philadelphia.
Morris, hallelujah.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
The Sixers will prevail.
Oh, baby! joeconklin.com.
This is Len Lundy of Lundy Law. Every year, millions are hurt in car accidents. The numbers are overwhelming. But if you're injured in an accident, don't feel overwhelmed. Call Lundy Law. We remove the stress and get you the maximum compensation you deserve. We hope we never meet because of an accident. But if we do, we're here for you. Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, what a show today, and Dan caps it off here on the Dom Giordano Show. Guy we've always wanted to talk with, but particularly now, how's the ear? What's going on with the ear?
Yeah.
Let's bring in physician to President Obama and President Trump, and now Congressman Ronnie Jackson with us on Talk Radio 1210. Congressman, thank you so much. It's been a dream to finally get you on under circumstances that are much in the news. Where do you represent? Where's your district?
So I have the Panhandle in North Texas. I have 41 counties at the top of Texas, the entire Panhandle, about 3 counties deep, extending above the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So most of the northwest part of Texas is mine.
Well, I don't think I remember a White House physician in charge and residence that would have President Obama and President Trump. You know, it's not like they said, well, this guy's a Democrat or Republican. We need him to treat the president. So that is a remarkable thing. And, of course, President Trump turns to you. So give us a sense. Is Trump, you saw the shooting. You knew Trump would be calling you to go and examine the ear. How did it go on?
Yeah, you know, and I took care of President Bush, too. I was at the White House for 14 years, so I was a White House physician for 3 administrations. Obviously, I got pretty close to President Trump when I was with him the last 3 years. He's hands down, I think, the best president we've ever had, and I just have a great relationship with him. And so when I saw it happen on TV, I was actually here in Texas, and he was there in Pennsylvania, and it was an overwhelming sense of helplessness. I mean, I've never felt anything like that before because, you know, I've trained to be there when that happens. and it happened to him. And like I said, he's not just somebody I protected; he's a close friend, and I felt helpless. But I got on a plane. I got there as fast as I possibly could. I got there that night, married up with him, and then was with him throughout the next day, Sunday. Flew to the convention in Milwaukee with him on Sunday, and then just basically stayed by his side for like the next 8 or 9 days. Periodically checking on his wound and just basically kind of falling into my old role a little bit, where I was back in the bubble, just moving around with the team, going wherever he went, and just being close by. It was good. I mean, I enjoyed that part of it, but obviously I was terrified, like most Americans, when I saw what happened. And praise, I'm just thankful that thank God he's okay. He came as close as you can possibly get to dying from an assassination attempt without doing it. So yeah, but he's doing great. I mean, the wound is healing well. Initially, it took a piece off the top of his ear, as everyone saw, and it was bleeding like crazy because the highly vascular nature of the ear bleeds like that. Took a hunk out of the top of his ear and really missed entering his head by about 1.5 to 2 centimeters, probably less than that, even probably closer to 1 centimeter. If it had been just a little bit closer to his head, 1 centimeter closer to his head, it would have entered his head, and that would have been game over. I mean, it would have been unsurvivable.
And Doctor, let me ask too, the attempts now to diminish this. Christopher Wray, the Secret Service, you probably saw it, or immediately they told you, since you are treating the president. Well, it might have been shrapnel. We don't know if it's a bullet. My God, anything to try to drive this down, this legendary photo, Facebook essentially banning.
Well, they're terrified, and I wrote a letter right after that. As soon as Christopher Wray said that, I wrote a letter basically outlining the president's injury again and talking about that, and to some extent scolding the FBI director as completely inappropriate in saying something like that. I've said before, I really think that the establishment is terrified of what's going on right now with President Trump, realizing that they are going to get beat badly. And this kind of put the icing on the cake, And when I say the establishment, I put the FBI director in that group as well. But I think they looked at this and they realized that the president got shot in the head. Somebody tried to kill him. And instead of, keeping low and scurrying off the stage, he stood up with blood all over his head and raised his fist in defiance and angrily yelled, "Fight, fight, fight." And when people saw that all over the world, and certainly all over this country, there were lots and lots of people who were not planning on voting for President Trump. And they saw that warrior spirit rise to the surface, and they saw that leadership and that defiance, and they were converted. Those people are out actively talking about they're going to vote for President Trump. He's an American icon now, and the left is going crazy. They don't know what to do about it. And so they're trying everything they can, including they get, Joy Reid and this Oberman idiot and these, assassination deniers that are on MSNBC and CNN talking about it, saying maybe he didn't really get shot. I mean, we watched it on TV. The whole world saw it in real time.
Well, that's why you're so important. You're a Texas guy, Panhandle. You know a gunshot. You're a doctor across 3 administrations. And you're treating the president, And I was a combat physician with the United States Marine Corps in Iraq on the battlefield for almost a year, and I saw gunshot wounds every day. I know what a gunshot. The FBI director knew that too. He was trying to appease the left and the establishment. He had to come back right after I wrote the letter. I wrote the letter and sent it out, and President pushed it out. Everybody pushed it out. It just got incredible traction. He came back and basically said, "Look, I didn't mean to imply it wasn't a gunshot wound. It was absolutely a gunshot wound," right? And so, it's just it's horrible that we have people that are in roles like that are making decisions based on politics, not on on their apolitical job and what the mission of their apolitical job is. And you know what? Somebody who treated presidents, Republican, Democrat, Republican, certainly has more ability to say that they trusted you with their very health. Now, it's just you and me for a second here. You don't have to reveal anything too much. Ever tell Trump, hey, you got to eat more vegetables, or how about jogging a little bit? You ever consider doing that?
We talked about it, of course. Yeah, we talked about it. But hey, he's Trump. That's he is who he is, and you gotta love him every bit of it. So So
well, he's lucky as a patient.
So whatever he's doing is working.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Cheeseburgers, I can't imagine, but. Now, when you watch Congressman Ronnie Jackson with us, the Secret Service testimony, we saw it with the Senate today and in the House, but today the Senate, I think, really ratcheted up around this whole thing. Again, it's like there's a diminishing going on here of exactly what happened. When you watch that, given your knowledge, given your connection to the president, what are you hearing? What are you seeing that happened here?
Well, I was on a plane coming back from D.C. this morning, so I missed a large part of the hearing. I've just caught a little bit of it here at the end, and I think it was a step in the right direction from what we saw with this previous director who had to resign in shame. She was just horrible, and we have the acting director right now, a guy named Ron Rowe, who actually I served with for many years while I was with the Secret Service at the White House. I think he's being more forthcoming, but we still need more, right? He's going to have to let the House members of this new committee that Speaker Johnson has put together and the senators that are also trying to dig into this, he's going to have to give them access to everybody in the Secret Service that was there, all of the uniform division guys, all of the agents on the ground, the post standers, the site agents, the people that were on the president's detail themselves. They have to have all this to put the picture together. I think that he will do this, because if he doesn't, it's going to be very bad for the Secret Service. I think that he's embarrassed by what happened. He can't explain it. It's not explainable. They dropped the ball in horrific fashion, and I think that if the Secret Service wants to regain their reputation, and I will say that I love the Secret Service. I worked closely side by side with the Secret Service for 14 years, some of the best professionals I've ever been around in my professional career. But look, some serious things happened that day that were big failures that led to the president almost losing his life. And I think that they will be happy at this point, not happy, but they will be willing to showcase the shortfalls and the failures in an effort to get the reputation and the trust of the Secret Service back. That's what I hope happens.
Absolutely. Well, look, I don't think I've ever run into anybody who has quite the career that you have. It is an amazing thing to be treating three different presidents. What would you say with President Obama? Was that the only thing we saw with him was smoking maybe was an issue, but otherwise everything about him said physical fitness. Same thing with Bush.
Well, they were all three fit. I mean, I was blessed to work for three presidents that didn't really have any medical issues, to speak of. And the thing is, they just had different personalities. But I was in an apolitical job. I was on active duty at the White House. I was a Navy Rear Admiral, emergency medicine physician assigned to the White House in my Navy role. So I did the similar situation as the Secret Service agents that are protecting the president, or the Air Force One pilot that flies the president around, or the helicopter or whatever. Same kind of role. So I didn't get paid to have a political opinion while I was there. I got paid to do my job, and I kept my mouth shut and I did my job. But once I got out, my politics were pretty abundantly evident to everyone. And, I represent the number one most conservative district in the entire United States right now. And I am a MAGA all the way. I am president. I could not be closer to anyone's politics than President Trump.
Looking afar, and look, it's a complicated role. You don't want to be political, and everything you could do, maybe as a doctor, could be read that way. But when you look at President Biden, the people around him, given your role, given an insight, given your politics now too, it is shocking that it's got to be a lot of pressure on doctors and others. But to compromise this, and apparently maybe he had some kind of medical event in Las Vegas, that seemed to be the trigger here at the end.
Yeah, something's really wrong with him. We've known this for a long time. I could see it as early as 2019 when he was running for office, and I was saying it back then when he was candidate Joe Biden. I was saying this guy's not fit to be the commander-in-chief and the head of state. I got criticized aggressively and regularly, routinely by the far left and by the liberal media, but I just continued to say it. I felt like I had a unique background to be able to say something like that, and I did. And, I said all along, it will eventually be the Democrats that deal with this, because it will get so bad. Joe Biden is not a fine wine. He will not get better with time. He will get worse, and he did. And I said the Democrats will eventually be forced to deal with it themselves, and that's what happened. And I don't know what he's got, and they say he doesn't have Parkinson's disease. He's got something very similar to Parkinson's disease. It could be worse. It could be not as bad, but there's a lot of variants out there. There aren't technically Parkinson's disease that are horrible diseases that have cognitive issues along with these movement disorders. And and we can see every day that's what he has. He has something seriously wrong with him. He's not fit to be our commander-in-chief even now. They pulled him from running, but, the reality is that he has to be there until January 20 of next year. God help us if something bad happens in this country, because this man has not been leading our country for 3.5 years, and he's not going to be leading it now. And even worse is, in my opinion, to some extent, I don't know if you can say worse, but just as bad is Kamala Harris. I mean, she has been a massive, massive part of this problem since day one. And, to think that if we pull him, that we have to rely on her is a terrifying thought.
It is. It is. I mean, at least Biden, I don't know about you, but I think was placating the left, and at least at the beginning of his term, he wasn't quite that far. She's the real deal. She's at the farthest extent of progressive. She's right there.
Yeah, and she knows what she's doing, right? I mean, you can question whether or not he even actually knew what was happening half the time, and how much he was actually being read into. How much was his actual policy and what he believed versus what they were just putting out and not even telling him about, because I think there was a lot of that going on. She legitimately believes this garbage. She is as far to the left as you can get. She's a dangerous, dangerous radical progressive, and she owns it all. And there's just countless tape of her saying just things that make the American people just lose their, that would just make us crazy. And that's going to be out there. But she's the real deal when it comes to the far left.
Absolutely. Dr. Ronnie Johnson, Congressman, thank you. I do hope you'll come back. I mean, we're thrilled to have you here to talk in this manner, and so easy to give us an insight that you get nowhere else. So please, we'd love to have you back.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to follow me, just go to RonnieJacksonTX.com, and you can find all of my social there.
Most conservative district in the country. We're going to have to find somebody that's a rival there. I can imagine probably pretty hard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Congressman. Thanks for joining us.
It.
Congressman Ronnie Jackson. Dan, it's like Moby Dick getting the great white whale there. Ronnie Jackson, you heard the Trump question. I don't know about the fit part, that we can concur on that. Obama and Bush, nerd time there. But Trump, it's a different kind of fitness, Trumpian. All right, 855-839-1210. We're going to take more of your calls coming up here on Talk Radio 1210. Also, I was supposed to be in Wildwood. When we're there, we always go to our buddies at the Wildwood Convention Center. We'll talk with Ben Rose, get a little update. We're headed down to North Wildwood, finally. But we'll find out what's going on there. But your calls, we'll get in as many as possible. And if you missed it, we will play you, I'll ask Dan, Hawley or Cruz, one of them at 2:30, because today they went after very effectively this acting Secret Service head, Ronnie Jackson. Dan, kudos. Trump's here. I'm flying in to get, Hey, summertime is here. The living is easy. All you need for summer gatherings is easy with just one call and visit to Captain Chucky's. Get that all-new wild shrimp scampi ravioli. Chucky's teaming up with Vera Pasta, offering lobster, crab, and now wild shrimp ravioli. Remember, order the brand-new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. The Bang Bang Crab Cake, Rose's favorite, without a doubt. It's a delicious, creamy, 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check stores for availability. Also, all those other offerings, desserts, soup, sides, appetizers, they're all there. They only use the highest quality ingredients. Their Golf shrimp is another thing that's a huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. My favorite, got to have on your table, the Dom Roll. So visit Captain Chucky's today. There's got to be one near you. Just go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the shore. Visit Captain Chucky's at theshore.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You may be ready for retirement, but is your money? Learn how to make your money work overtime. Tune in to The Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen. Saturdays at 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Hey, Warminster, we know your favorite station is WPHT.
Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
Spring will soon be gone. All right, I'd say tradition. If we're not over at Mulligan's, I've been talking to Johnny the last couple of days too, Dan. When we're down there, we're going to stop over there. I recommend the crab cake sandwich. And apparently, those summer White House T-shirts are flying out of there. Ro and I, of course, will be wearing our matching set. I think you have one, too. I love what they've done at Mulligan's. But the Dom Giordano Real Studio Complex is over at the Wildwood Tourism Authority, right there in the Wildwood Convention Center. There's a big sign outside when I'm there, flashing neon. One year there was a brass band. Sadly, there have been cutbacks for Dom Giordano Day. No brass bands. But we have with us Director of Marketing with the Greater Wildwoods Tourism Authority. We always talk with when we're there, and we will be there soon. Ben Rose joins us on Talk Radio 1210. Ben, sorry about all the problems and getting down there, but thank you for joining us.
That's a hard act to follow, Don. Jeez. But anyway, as far as signage, we're producing a neon sign, because neon is what the Wildwoods are all about.
Yes.
So we have a neon Don Giordano Show sign right outside the convention center.
Write that down, Dan. Doo-wop Dom. That's what I want.
How about the brass band?
Dom.
Yes.
We're going to play some doo-wop songs on the brass band,
There you go. Forget the brass band. We'll have a doo-wop band.
Now, I love Quirky, and the Wildwoods annual Baby Waddle Contest announces a record number of competitors. That was today, and I usually see it because it's one of the days I'm broadcasting from there. What did you have? What did you have today?
It was incredible. There were well over 50 toddlers and babies entered for this contest. And it's so funny. We have this giant, colorful parachute that we put out. It's about a 50-foot parachute. And the babies are put directly in the center, and they have to crawl to the edge. So the parents are screaming and yelling, trying to get their babies to crawl to the edge. Inevitably, one goes out of the chute real fast and almost gets to the edge and sits. And no matter what the parents do, they can't get that baby to move. And then eventually a baby slowly will crawl right past them and reach the finish line. And it drives the parents nuts, but it's all in fun. And it's just wholesome and just fun seeing all those families, babies and toddlers waddling and crawling.
Now, do you have any
Yeah, but Ben, Dan is a guy who really likes to bet, like FanDuel and all. So could we get a little betting line on the baby next year? I would choose the chubby baby, and the parents should be holding up something babies with
peanut butter or something.
Peanut butter or something. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a prelude of our baby parade, our annual baby parade, which has been a tradition since 1909 on the boardwalk in Wildwood. So that's exciting. That's tomorrow night at 6 p.m., and you could still register your babies for that parade.
Dan, you had a question?
I got a question because we got someone here I'm sitting across the glass from who has Luke and DJ and is hyper-competitive himself, and I can only imagine him on the sidelines if Luke or DJ were a baby in this contest, yelling at the top of his lungs to elbow some other babies out of the way. You ever had to pull a parent aside and say, tone it down a little bit, sir?
I could see a great promotion. I could see Dan in a diaper,
yes,
being crawling on the course.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Look, Greg Stocker, I have a
hotline. Involve running, I'm in it.
I have the red phone here, the hotline to Greg Stocker. I'm going to text him on that. Tell him this is an idea we can still get in this summer. But Dan Ben
we should get great media coverage on that.
Absolutely. Dan gave me, now this is the Wildwoods. This is also kind of quirky. On weekends coming up, 2 exciting weekends in August, you have both baseball on the beach, and then you also have the 14th annual Tattoo Beach Bash.
Same weekend.
Coming up,
Yeah.
same weekend.
Same weekend. Baseball on the beach has grown tremendously. We now have to have it 2 weekends because it gets sold out every time. And we expanded the number of fields on the beach. And it's a different game. When you hit the ball, it doesn't roll. So, they're running in the sand. They're trying to field in the sand. And it's really an exciting, fun activity for the kids. And like I said, it has expanded now to 2 weekends. And then at the same time, we have the Tattoo Beach Bash inside the convention center, where we'll have over 100 of the top tattoo artists from all over the country, including masters from Ink Masters and some of the major tattoo artists who tattoos big rock stars and lots of movie stars. And they'll be here. And you actually can schedule a session and get a tattoo during that 3-day convention.
Always something going on in the Wildwoods.
Hold on.
Yes.
Can we make
Always something going on.
No tattoo.
Come on, no Dom show or it's Dom time.
No, not Dom. Oh, my God.
Get Ben Rose's face on your back?
Yeah, that's... I do anything for the Wildwoods, but that's a little bit too much. So, Ben, we will...
What about the Wildwood sign on your back?
I like that.
There you go, with the beach balls.
Hey, can I underline something before Ben goes? This is what I love about the Wildwoods, is when you have kids in the family going down to a beach resort and not having much to do. And it seems like you guys over at the Guatita always seem to have something going on, even on weeknights. You guys got the concerts. You have...
Oh, yeah.
One thing I'm curious about, Friday nights, you guys still doing those Friday night fireworks?
Every Friday night at 10 p.m., Friday night fireworks on the beach. And what's exciting about that, you can actually go down on the beach and watch the fireworks explode directly overhead, and you feel the percussion in your chest. So it's a whole different experience, experiencing fireworks that way. But you can see the fireworks from anywhere on the island throughout the Wildwoods, and they go on every single Friday night through about the second week in September.
Ben, great stuff as always. We'll be headed down to see you guys, and then again in August. So where do we go for all the things for tourists, shoebies, and the like in the Wildwoods?
Yeah, our website has it all, and our website is wildwoodsnj.com.
Ben, thank you. Thanks for understanding, too, all the stuff this week, and we really appreciate hearing from you, as always.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. Thanks, Dom, and thanks, Dan.
All right, Ben Rose there, the director of the Greater Wildwoods Tourism Bureau. Now, a lot of stuff is backed up. Dan, maybe about 2:30, we had people that we really saw an explosive Senate testimony today with this acting director of the Secret Service. Which one would you rather play, Cruz or Hawley at about 2:30?
I think Hawley's probably the
Hawley,
one.
yeah. Hawley got to my big gripe right at the top of the show where I said, why, rather than all these bureaucrats that can dodge because they weren't there, why are we not hearing from the person actually making the decision? And you'll hear with Hawley and also with Cruz, they don't want to tell you anybody makes a decision. That's not true. There's got to be an on-site person that said, don't put that in there, the perimeter, and also said, yeah, let Trump go on, even though we have these reports. Who was that person? We'll play that for you. Couple things, though. One, got some people firing away on Twitter about Dan's attire today, Dan.
Yeah, not fair. I like my corny Hawaiian shirts, but apparently I triggered some people in the youtube.com/@12WPHT comment section.
Yeah, so what are we hearing?
Oh, you want to know it now?
Yeah.
So we have, who was it first? I want to...
Minnie?
Yeah, Minnie says that Magnum P.I. called Dan. He wants his shirt back.
Right.
All I'm wearing is a Hawaiian shirt that has a lot of flowers and birds on it.
Yeah, I didn't notice any difference today.
And John writes, and Dan, did you mistakenly put Maisie's blouse on this morning?
That's it. That's the winning line. All right, you got the side question today, too. I saw this on Twitter, loved it, which is, A moment where a movie or TV character knew they were about to be killed. Tommy in Goodfellas. Taking one for the team. Terminator 2. The robot. Couple things, though. One, on Morning Joe today, they're now going after J.D. Vance, saying all he wants is more white kids. He ought to just say that. That's what it is. It's like Elon Musk. They don't want just kids. They want white kids. That's Molly Young Fast, Dan. I don't know if you've ever seen her. Weirdo. Do talk about weirdos. We're called weirdos. These weird black glasses and a whole mystique about her. She goes after him and says that. Well, the question is this. Does J.D. Vance not have 3 biracial children? Now, you know how this goes, though. I don't know the scorecard here. I know if his wife were Asian, she's Indian, then they're called white adjacent. So they wouldn't count as biracial. That's how they go after Asian Americans, principally, as a minority group to kind of knock them out of there. The very same party that calls us weirdos. The other thing is they're going after Nate Silver. Now, Nate Silver, as much as I've always had antagonism because he seems smarter than the room, the pollster, and he's got his own website, that whole thing, still has Trump as the solid favorite. He's been saying that for months, and he still says essentially what I've been saying. This is a giddiness around Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris. It's going to pass. Yeah, they'll get a bump from their convention, but then it will start to dissipate. They're going after him, Dan, and saying, you know what this is? Nate Silver, the one guy, a Democrat strategist, couldn't get women, couldn't have sex with women in high school, and that's why he's still doing this stuff. Guess what? According to the news report that I've seen, Nate Silver's gay. But this is how ferocious it is to go after Nate Silver now, because and the predict markets, the kind of stock markets in which people essentially are betting on the presidency, they still have Trump solidly ahead. They don't like that. You got to believe we're going to be swept out on this. We're not. Kamala Harris is not going to be president. Now, winning Pennsylvania, not ready to call yet. I want to see as things all line up here, but I think we're going to win Pennsylvania. But she's not going to be president. The road to that will start to dissipate the more that she's out there. Once the ads start, the ad of her saying, yes, I would ban fracking. That gets played enough in Pennsylvania. That's going to be really tough stuff. By the way, the Israeli Defense Forces targeted the Hezbollah commander in charge of the attack that killed 12 Israeli kids playing soccer in downtown Beirut. I'm not sure if they got him or not. It appears they may have. And the Biden administration, of course, telling Israel to stand down. How much can Dan, I know where I'm looking toward you. Stuff like this in the news, Dan, is she picking Shapiro? I don't think so. And I hope Josh Shapiro is asked about this. He might even answer honestly that Israel has a right to defend itself. They haven't attacked the entire Hezbollah as they should in Lebanon, but they have apparently taken out the commander. Now, that's precise. That's exactly the right way to go about this. Let's see what Shapiro says. But first, due to our special guest, Ronnie Jackson, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Money gone.
That is right. Today we have another great prize, all things Shyamalan. You'll win a Trap Movie Prize. That's the new Shyamalan picture pack that includes 4 Fandango tickets, 4 Summer of Shyamalan T-shirts, and 4 official movie posters. From acclaimed filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan comes the latest movie, Trap. Totally new experience from the mind behind The Sixth Sense, Signs, and Split. Trap is out in theaters August 2nd. Dan?
One of your favorite songwriters of all time, Dom, is celebrating a birthday today, and here covering Van Halen.
Ah!
So, Dom, we want to know who this songwriter is covering Van Halen who's celebrating a birthday. Take a listen.
You gotta roll with the punches to get what's real.
Nancy Sinatra?
Oh, can't you see me standing here? I got my back against the record machine. I ain't the worst that you've seen. Can't you see what I mean? Might as well jump.
I love it.
Oh man, Dan, this is one of them.
Really? You don't like it? Oh, I love the take.
That's why
on
I
it.
said Nancy Sinatra take here.
It's
Nancy
very
Sinatra
Nancy
coming out.
Sinatra.
Yeah. Oh God. Not as good as the Taylor Swift cover of Eminem, though. My God. We should play your covers one day, 4 or 5 of them in a row. Which is the worst? All right.
Some bad
Hit
ones.
us with that. All things M. Night Shyamalan. You get the whole package. Here's how you get in. We're looking for the songwriter there, right?
We're looking for the singer who's covering the song, who serves as a singer for a long time, but is also known as a world-famous songwriter.
He absolutely is. I don't know. Some of his 5 biggest hits are among the biggest 20 of the last X number of years. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in right now here on Talk Radio 1210.
Might as well jump.
A humid air mass will remain in place through the rest of the week. Partly to mostly cloudy today with a late day shower or storm, high 86. Better chance for some showers and storms tonight with a low 72. And partly sunny, hot and humid on Wednesday with a shower or storm, high 92.
There's only one place to get that perfect custom gift for your special someone. Cozy Jewelers' family-owned and operated showroom in Newtown Square. See their 5 C's in person. That's color, cut, clarity, carat, and of course, the cozy touch. If you have something unique in mind, Cozy will help you customize your piece with all work done in-house, so you always walk away with that unparalleled cozy quality. For your custom jewelry, stop by Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square or online at cozyjewelers.com and step up to the 5th C.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at Archbishop Wood High School in Warminster, PA, Saturday, September 28th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
We don't care who you vote for in the upcoming election. You know why? Because this is not a political ad. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group meet with people every day wondering if they should be doing something different with their money because it's an election year. At Retire Ready Financial Group, we want you to know where your money is, how it's performing, and if the market does go down, how does it affect your retirement? We call it a portfolio snapshot, and we do it at no charge. Our goal is for you to have confidence as you enter retirement, confidence to spend, and confidence that you won't run out of money. Let's vote those election worries right out of your retirement. For your complimentary portfolio snapshot, call 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or go to retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James B. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Chester police say someone fired shots at cars that were parked in a Chesterbrook neighborhood. Governors Josh Shapiro and Gretchen Whitmer rallied together in Ambler for Kamala Harris. And a 3rd child has died after a stabbing at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class in England.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Homeowners, improve your family's comfort with a Bradford White water heater and enjoy all the hot water your household needs all day, every day. With Bradford White, you get more than just a water heater. You get our commitment to quality and reliability that you can trust. How you heat your water matters, so don't compromise when it comes to your home or your hot water. Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best because your home deserves it. Visit bradfordwhite.com to learn more and find an installation pro near you.
It's hot out there, and your inefficient windows mean high utility bills all year long. Window Nation sells some of the most energy-efficient windows you can buy and was recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free, plus 0 down and no interest or payments for 2 years. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule an in-home estimate right now at 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That is right. All right, let's hear the clue today. Dom Giordano's show.
Might as well jump. Jump. Might as well jump.
Oh, man, I can't take this. Oh,
come on.
Jump.
How do they let them do this? How much do they have to pay to do this? All right.
Sounds like Atlantic City.
All right,
personified.
singer-songwriter. Dan, well, you give your comment. I think it's a really good characterization of this person. Let's go to Mike in Glen Mills. All right, Mike, who's doing that?
Hey, singer-songwriter, actor, Bobby Darin.
No, you said it so confidently
close,
and threw
too.
actor in. Yeah, I can see a little bit of. No, Bobby Darin is a much better singer and act than, not songwriter, but better singer.
This guy was an actor, too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I guess he.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Rosemary in Franklinville. Rosemary, who is it?
Well, to me, it sounds a lot like Paul Anka, but I'm not sure.
Yes, it is Paul
cool.
Anka. Nicely
Cool.
played. I put you on hold, Rosemary. You're the winner today. So, Dan, your comment on Mr. Anka.
Yeah, I feel like he's the Atlantic City of lounge singers, Mr. Paul Anka.
Yes.
And I say that because, he was first with the My Way, similar to Atlantic City being first, but then the bright and shiny Las Vegas comes around, being Frank Sinatra singing My Way. Kind of takes the, shine away. But, Paul Anka's voice, it's good enough. Like going to Atlantic City as a vacation destination rather than going to Vegas. It's good enough.
It's the style, though, of taking that song until they'll do anything. So what's the worst? Taylor Swift, Eminem, Joe Pesci doing, what was it?
Oh, that's right. I forgot we played a Pesci cover.
Oh, God. The covers are just... Now, I think Bobby Darin is a much, not as stereotypical. What's the second best Anka song ever? Clearly, My Way, top 10 song of all time. But I'm not sure what else he wrote.
Your head, put your head on my shoulder.
Yeah, he didn't do Dunkashane, did? No, that's...
that was Wayne Newton, right?
Wayne Newton.
Yeah.
I confused the two. I'm not sure
Maybe
why.
he's not one of the greatest songwriters of all time.
No. All
Sorry,
right.
Paul.
All right, coming up, we're going to play you, do I have time to play it here? Yeah, here's a little bit of Josh Hawley going after the acting secretary of the Secret Service today. And Hawley saying what I've been saying from the beginning. Why can't we have under testimony the person who was in charge of the site that day in Butler, Pennsylvania? Here's how it sounded.
Why have they not been relieved of duty?
They are still cooperating, not only being interviewed by the FBI, but also by our Office of Professional Responsibility. And we will let the facts of the mission assurance and any further investigations play out.
Isn't the fact that a former president was shot, that a good American is dead, that other Americans were critically wounded, isn't that enough mission failure for you to say that the person who decided that building should not be in the security perimeter probably ought to be stepped down?
Senator, I think you're using the word decided, and I think we need to allow the investigation play out to include.
So who did make the decision then? If it wasn't the lead site agent, who made the decision not to put that in the security perimeter?
Senator, you're zeroing in on one particular agent. I want to find out exactly what was the entire decision process. So I think I want to be neutral and make sure that we get to the bottom of it and interview everybody in order to determine if there was more than one person who perhaps exercised bad judgment.
Well, sure. My question is, why don't you relieve everybody of duty who made bad judgment? So, yeah, you're right. I am zeroing in on somebody. I'm trying to find somebody who's accountable here. You're telling me that the person who made the decision not to include this in the perimeter has not been relieved of duty. What about the person who's in charge of the interoperability of radio frequencies between local law enforcement and Secret Service? Has that person been relieved of duty?
No, Senator, because interoperability is a challenge, is a greater challenge than just one person. On that day, we had a counterpart system. It failed
As the person who made the decision to send Donald Trump onto stage knowing that you had a security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir, they haven't.
Has the person who decided not to pull the former president off of stage when you knew that, in your words, the locals were working a serious security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir. Again, I refer you back to my original answer that we are investigating this through a mission assurance. And as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to investigate to know
exactly what
more do you need to investigate to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their jobs.
I cannot put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on the scale?
You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing.
That's what got me.
I acknowledge this was a failure of the Secret Service.
Is it not prima facie that somebody has failed? The former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days,
then
just like you have.
Somebody
and
to
I will
hold
tell
them
you,
accountable.
Senator, I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly persecuted?
Unfairly,
We've got people
sir,
who are
we
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you've got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally-goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
Senator, I think this is where you and I agree. This was a failure, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Well, I hope you're going to do something about it.
All right. Bottom line here is, again, how do they get to set this idea? It's always a rush to judgment. It's too preliminary. They're just going to determine it, and you know what that means. They're lawyered up. They ought to be brought in to testify. That's who we need to hear from. How is it the heads of these organizations can testify, but the people that actually know the specifics, moment by moment, of what happened here and why you did this? And again, if you don't want conspiracy, then stop it. Stop this bureaucratic nonsense where they get to set these artificial, no rush to judgment, 60 days I have to do my report. That's not a law. It's not written down anywhere. All right, the lightning round is next. We'll get a winner for the week here in a moment. Hey, the best place to bet the games this summer is FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Then you can bet on all your favorite international teams and all your favorite sports, basketball, badminton, soccer, swimming. FanDuel has it all. Don't miss that chance to score $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to sign up. Make every moment more with FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
We have a rim shot on the board. Tony asked for it, and Jim delivered. Tony, did you hear the
Jim.
Did you hear the rim shot? By the way, you're a rim shot expert, so I need a score on this rim shot. You give me a score. Ready?
never use that. If I hear one rim shot on this radio station, we're going to be smooth jazz the next day.
The number one Odyssey talk station flips formats because of excessive rim shots. Wow.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Over the summer, get a jump on the new school year for your child. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and make the most of these summer months and get a plan in place for your student this fall. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@metc.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200.
Crash Proof Retirement records all financial meetings. All promises made in recorded financial meetings become legally binding between Crash Proof Retirement and the investing client. Crash Proof Retirement provides all of their clients with a certificate of authenticity, further documenting that recording financial meetings brings fiduciary responsibility to the highest level.
I'm Jack Gunning from Bluebell, Pennsylvania. I don't know whether anybody can offer you the security that Crash Proof Retirement does. I have this certificate that tells me they're a fiduciary, everything is recorded, and they have your best interest at heart. That certificate is 100% documentation that you know what they're saying is 100% correct. Other companies don't have this guarantee. This certificate means an awful lot for me, and it should mean an awful lot for you.
Certify your retirement future. Schedule an appointment by calling 1-800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
Don't count on summer heat to melt away those extra pounds. That doesn't work. But here's something that does work, and that's NJ Diet. For over a decade, NJ Diet has helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. No shots, no prepackaged meals, and no surgery. NJ Diet is fully supervised every step of the way to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations close by are available from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Don't let them silence you. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, Dan, we got to get this on the record of the show that's sent off to the museum after it. Hassan bin Sober coming to the defense of your outfit.
He says, Hawaiian shirts are always in vogue and are apropos for any occasion. Thank you.
I may have to wear that to Mulligan's, you know.
You're going to wear a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah.
I got a bunch. You can borrow one.
Then underneath, I have one. Well, sort of Hawaiian. It's almost reaching. It's Hawaiian adjacent.
Also, great commenter from youtube.com/@1210WPHT Mini put together a Photoshop of me wearing a full flamingo outfit in honor of my Magnum PI outfit that I'm wearing today. youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Go look at Dan Time with Dom if you want to see the outfit. Or tune in now as we, look at the winners of the week.
By the way, that princess that put me up there, I've never looked that good last week with the beard. Just
That's
a little
Minnie.
stubble.
Yeah,
that was Minnie. Okay.
Yeah.
Tony in Delco. Tony, the person know they're going to be killed. What's the film? Who's the character?
So, just a second. A beard and a Hawaiian shirt?
Yes.
Yes.
Whole new guy.
Okay.
Right?
All right, so,
Maybe a
I mean,
beer,
this is...
cigar?
And a beer? And a cigar? He says to Christopher Walken, he says, I'll have that cigarette now. Dennis Hopper in True Romance. He
Very
knew he
good.
was going to die.
Very good. The Earl of Tacony. Earl, what's yours? We have a little time today. Sorry.
Mine comes from The Fifth Element. Gary Oldman's character, Zord, places a bomb on the cruise ship, and he leaves the ship and realizes he stole the wrong suitcase. So he goes back to the ship, takes his computer key card, turns the bomb off with 5 seconds left to spare, so he can go and he can look for the proper suitcase. Not realizing that the mercenaries he left on board the ship to die had their own bomb. They activated, he turns around, sees the bomb come up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and he goes, oh no, and the ship blows up.
Very good, Earl. I like this next one, Dan. There is this Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty, the look they give each other. Bruce, what's yours?
Hey, Dom, it's the final scene of the movie, Bonnie and Clyde. They realize they were set up, and they look at each other just in the camera also, and just before the G-men open up on fire on them.
Yeah,
It's
the look in
brilliant.
Faye Dunaway's eyes, iconic. And Chuck in Newtown Square. Chuck, you're the last hitter. What's yours?
Well, here we go, guys. It doesn't quite fit as well as maybe some of the others, but and somehow I think they're going to make a continuation of the story.
Yes.
But how about we go to Gladiator with Maximus, who's battling to get his revenge, and in the end, he he dies for his wife and his child and everything else, and he does know he's going to die, and he does kill the man who takes care of everything. So it's revenge and death at the same time.
Yeah, the Emperor. All right, Dan, who are the contenders today? I had one I really liked, and there were several really good.
I think you really like the Gran Torino one. I'm going to leave it completely up to you, though, Dom.
Gran Torino.
Yeah?
Yeah,
John
I
and
like that.
Jenkintown?
The call was great. I'm going to go Gran Torino. So we put them into the hat, mix them up. Only 2 this week.
Yes. So, Dom, Monday, yesterday, we asked for something significantly French, something or somebody. Barbara and Tom's River won the day with Casablanca. Tuesday, what's the greatest I'm dead and I know it moment in movies? John and Jenkintown called in with Gran Torino. Going to throw them both into a hat. Going to roll the dice today, Dom. Wait, whoa, wrong button.
All right.
There we go. We actually got a 1, which means first day of the week, Monday. Barbara and Tom's River. I'm happy I didn't have to roll it a bunch of times. There you go. Barbara, you are the winner. Congratulations.
Do we have the prize?
The M. Night Shyamalan package.
There we go. Very nice. All right, enjoy. Dan and I are off for some R&R and Hawaiian shirting, etc. Headed to North Wildwood. Lou Pate sitting in and Shannon Burke. Jim will keep you company and keep it going. And Monday, I'm sure, boy, great stuff with Dan, Ronnie Jackson. If you missed that, it'll be up right now, our podcast, the doctor actually treating President Trump. Don't forget, too, speaking of Trump, Don Trump Jr., tickets for our big event now moved to September 12th. And we'll talk about the debate and everything else at that point right over there at the Scottish Rite. Go to 1210WPHT.com, 1210WPHT.com. Rich Scioli is next for 4 big hours. Way to go, Cruz, Hawley, Tom Cotton today. Nice work. Get to the bottom of it. See you soon here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's Rich Scioli. I've been telling you about one of the greatest finds of Mama Scioli, besides me, of course, and that's our dentist, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. As you know, my entire family goes to Dr. Mike, whose level of care and commitment to dental excellence is unmatched. You know, it's now July. We're in the back half of the year, and if you haven't been to the dentist yet this year, I hate to break it to you, but you're over.